week ago, we didn't have football. All we had was hot takes. Here we are, 7 days later. We got all the football, the good, the bad, and the oogle, and some more hot takes heading into week 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it's On the Money podcast here live from the epicenter, Nostalgia Mania, the On the Money Sports Lounge, the theater section of the On the Money Sports Lounge, the side you don't see often. And we're coming to you live for another edition of On the Money podcast. 3-man band, back in action, Freebird rules, because we need all hands on deck tonight. Deep dive into what we just saw for week 1 and a little bit of a preview for week 2. My associates this evening, like every other evening, none other than the man to my left, Oscar O. Money Muniz, and to my far left, Mike D.
Yeah. What up? What up? As always, it is a pleasure to be in the house. It's going to be a very intense podcast, I think. We're going to talk about it all today. We're going to recap week 1. We're going to talk about our teams. We're going to talk about your teams.
We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about it all.
We're going to talk about our fantasy teams.
We've all drafted mixed combinations of these players who either did a lot of good things or pretty much nothing.
It's week 1 overreaction time for a lot of people.
And so the biggest overreaction.
Not me. So what if you had Joe Burrow, Devin A-Chain, Mon St. Brown, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, what? A-Chain didn't do too bad.
Oh, not A-Chain. The guy who no-showed, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but if you were able to pick up Mason, you were still good.
Well, I
Were you?
picked up Jordan Mason last week in sick picks where I don't have McCaffrey. And it's one of those things where it's like I gave myself an out so that I'm more prepared for week 2 because in sick picks, I had the worst week maybe ever in my history of sick picks. I only scored 90 points because I did have Joe Burrow. I didn't just have Joe Burrow. I had Jamar Chase. Yes, I had the stack.
I was ridiculed for benching Jamar Chase by 2 people in this room.
And now you look like a genius. Look at you now.
Are
you going to bench him again this week?
It was a bold move. I didn't criticize you at all. What the hell did I say?
There was a lot of
bold moves. That's crazy.
There was a lot of bold moves. There was a lot of hot takes. There was a lot of ugly football. This past week, week 1, was the worst offensive. It was the worst week of offensive production since week 1 of the 2000 season. So we haven't seen something like what we sat together and watched for over 25 years. We're just about 25 years now. This is the 25th anniversary of the worst offensive production in week 1 in the NFL. Worst offensive production this century. Can't explain it any better than that.
It's the least amount of touchdowns thrown.
Between the three of us.
Between the whole league?
This is the least amount of passing touchdowns in 8 years, I think, or 9 years.
Between the 3 of us, our football teams won a combined 1 and 2. Our quarterbacks threw a combined 1 touchdown pass and a combined 2 pick sixes. It was oogle. was the best way to describe some of the things that we just witnessed. But there was a lot of silver linings. And now it's a question of who we believe now. Now it's no more just hot takes of August and not getting football. We have the football. We're going into week 2 starting tomorrow. What do we take into week 2 and what do we leave behind in week 1?
It's tough.
Honestly,
football. It looks like Christian McCaffrey is going to be out for the foreseeable future.
Christian McCaffrey getting ruled out an hour before the game starts.
Puka Nacua is probably going to be out.
He probably wasn't playing all week. Probably the last 2 weeks.
Oh. And then there's nobody on the waiver wire, but what's his name?
What up, Barry?
DeJargo, the third string running back from San Fran, who didn't get a single touch.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
He didn't get a single touch because Jordan Mason went out there, had the game of his life, and then he spilled the beans on the 49ers and said, I knew I was going to play it Friday.
And you could tell post-game press
conference,
he reamed his
ass.
But you know what? You shouldn't be doing that.
Stop being sneaky.
Stop being sneaky. Absolutely
Stop
right.
being sneaky.
Stop trying to be that.
Get your PR in line. Get your PR in line.
Yeah.
Tell the boys what they're supposed to say.
Exactly. That's
what up, Chris? What up, Aaron?
That's the whole point. Yeah, that's literally the whole point of your PR.
My man's was juice, dog. He had the best game of his career.
Yeah,
Ran all over the Jets.
He spoke from his heart. Like you said, the guy was juiced up.
Burt Family's would have never allowed a Steeler to say something like
that. His family knew that he was starting tonight, so it was all eyes on you. He could have easily just shit the bed with his
You think his
carries.
mom's getting on the field an hour before the game, if he really found out an hour before the
He's
game.
like, dog, I just had 150 rushing yards for the San Francisco
The
49ers. Like,
you see what it is? It's Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah, that thing's gonna
That
snap, baby.
lingers.
That is gonna snap if they F around.
Yeah, and then that's another part of the conversation is that was 1 week, and now here we are in week 2. He's not going to play again.
Oh,
Fire
they're talking
up
about
Jordan
putting him on
Mason.
the IR.
IR.
So that means at least week 5 you won't see him till then.
And Puka's going to be on the IR, and Sean McVay also said that he doesn't know he'll be ready in 4 weeks either.
So week
Rams
6,
lost
that's
a
week
lot of
6 actually,
people.
right?
The Rams lost 3 offensive linemen in week 1.
Yeah.
My prediction of them going to the Super Bowl is in peril right
It's going
now.
to be
I mean,
Matt
it's better
Stafford
to
and
happen
Detroit all
now than
over
happen
again.
in week 16 or 17. At least,
What if it keeps happening?
I mean,
I'll tell you what, though.
I've been there,
They-
so I get it. It can keep happening.
There's certain
Being
teams where
shorthanded, they still tied, what we think is going to be an
Well,
NFC representative in the
they're
Super
gonna
Bowl.
they're gonna fight the Lions tough every time. The Rams are gonna
Right.
fight the contenders
that's
every
because-
time. Like
That's because Matt Stafford's in Detroit. He's not.
he is inspired, dog. Like
He doesn't want to lose.
he doesn't want to lose to these guys. Cooper Kupp,
And I think he
14
knows he's
targets.
ready to retire. I think he's ready to retire.
he's ready to get one more ring before he retires.
I mean,
This
yeah,
is
no,
it.
he's on
Like,
a
this
mission.
is that-
He's definitely
like,
on a
this is
mission.
that
I
run.
agree.
You know, and Cooper
agree.
Kupp came out of nowhere and reminded everybody, like, yeah, I'm still here, guys.
Oh.
Best fourth round pick in the draft
I got
of
him in the
this past
5th
season.
round in
Steal.
one of my leagues.
Steal, because everybody
5th
forgot
round gem.
that he could go out there and take over the football game. And now we have the Puka's out for a month. Here we have
Sucks.
Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson. You know one of those boys is going to eat.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in that
Yeah.
offense, one of
And
those
then
boys
you got
is
the
going to
tight
eat.
end that's playing right now.
Like, we've all seen it. If you're a part of the Rams offense,
Parkinson.
Yeah.
like, if you're
He
a
was
part of the
getting
Rams
targets.
offense, you're going to get targets. So many targets that they run you to the ground and you get hurt when you're on the Rams.
I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Thomas got a call from them.
Oh,
Possible.
He would
Slant
work.
man.
Slant man would work for them.
It's possible.
Now they call Rashi Rice slant man.
Hey,
I don't care what
Yeah,
they call
right.
him, as long as you give me
Ron
22
Sheets
weeks.
is-
I'll take it. I'll take
Is
Thank
take
you,
the
Nolan.
bomb.
Appreciate you.
Man. So yeah, with
CMC upset a lot of people. I told y'all stay clear of him.
the Madden curse
I
is
didn't
real.
want
I
it, man.
told you guys last summer. Remember, y'all were like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're crazy."
The Madden curse is
About
real,
body
and
cam
everybody-
footage. Is that discussion for today? I mean, you can talk
Everybody's
about it.
got thoughts on it. It was badly mishandled on the cop side.
Crazy way to start your
Yeah,
Sunday morning,
I mean,
for sure.
It could have been easier.
I
Hill
feel-
could have made it a lot easier
I think
situation.
the
do
Cuban
agree
cop
with
just
that.
had Jaguars money line.
But yes, either that or I mean, to me, he
Jaguars,
obviously didn't know who
dog.
Tariq is or was or what he does.
Well,
for a living or
no,
anything
somebody
like that.
said if you listen closely at the 17-second mark, you hear someone go, "That's Tariq Hill," but he says it really low. Like you hear him go, "That's Tariq Hill." And so that same cop who said that was the one who started backpedaling, and he started going around, and he was the one that was telling Johnny Swift, "Guys, you can't park here. You got to keep going."
So he's
The one
he
that was
knew.
real chill. Yeah,
So he knew.
he knew, and he went like
But he should have de-escalated
he
that
did the
whole thing,
Homer.
man.
He was probably a rookie. They ain't listening to no damn rookie.
Yeah. He would have got chewed out too.
He would have got chewed out
Yeah, the
anyway,
guy's
carrying
being a
the
tough guy.
bags. You want to be a tough guy, go do traffic duty. He'd have been handsy. Come on, guys. Turn left.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. I think that was messed up, though. I try to tell you that curse is real. Yeah, man.
The people who
is
faded
real.
CMC did not have to do as much scrambling as the people who drafted CMC and had to either find the replacement or you were hunting, trying to see if there was some off chance that Jordan Mason was still on the waiver wire. And in some leagues, he still was.
Who did he get
Alexi
picked
picked
up?
him up in On the Money Sports.
Ah, okay.
I completely bypassed Jordan Mason in On the Money Sports because I was
I
just
did that in East Coast. Completely
the
went right past him.
Puka Nacua thing threw me for a loop. So my first waiver claim went to wide receiver because after what Chris Olave did, I don't feel safe having him in that wide receiver 2 spot. So my first claim was for Rashid Shaheed, who that could blow up in my face, but at least
He's
I'm getting
boomer
a guy
Yeah,
who,
He's
if anything
true.
happens to Olave,
He's-
I mean, celebrity
Rashid-
should get special
Shaheed
treatment.
is
I think
like-
both parties did wrong. Cop definitely could have handled it differently. No, but
Agreed.
yeah, that's the whole point here. You know what I
Agreed.
mean? No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that celebrity should be handled differently. I'm saying that
It was.
he could have made the situation easier, but at the same time, that cop was angry from the jump. In my
Yeah.
opinion, he seemed a little aggressive from Jump Street, and Tariq Hill doesn't technically have to roll his window all the way down. It looks like he was able to communicate with him so perfectly fine. So as long as he gave him his license, which he did. All you have to do, if I'm Tariq Hill,
he's 100% right.
I'm telling you, yo, go do your job. Go run my name, give me the ticket, and let me get out of here. Like, I don't need, my window doesn't need to be all the way down. Like Tariq Hill said on that CNN that same night, I'm a big superstar. I'm a football NFL superstar. I don't want people videotaping me going by, telling me, look at this, look at this. Like, we live in an internet social media world where shit like that is,
like,
just driven and shit like that.
It still ended up happening because those are the videos that ended up getting posted.
Yeah.
Noli, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for checking in. There was a huge group of the fantasy football world who were ready to fade CMC.
I did. I said if I'm giving, if I was given a number one pick, I'm not picking him. I'm picking a receiver.
Yeah.
I knew about the issues.
I told you,
and we were all in agreement.
Yeah, we're all in agreement.
I knew about the issues, but I still drafted him in the Finer Things League because of the fact that I got him in the second round. And it was one of those things where okay, I got my main quarterback. Like, I got to do this right now.
Yeah,
so I took my chance, but it was a safer play than going for him in the first round and then missing out on a Josh Allen in the first. Then like that team's really in some shit. Yeah. But that team still lost this week because McCaffrey got ruled out, and I had nobody on my bench that I could replace McCaffrey with. I didn't have the Jordan Mason. I already had Garrett Wilson. In my mind, I was like, all I need is Garrett Wilson and CMC to give me 30 points, and I got this in the bag.
Yeah.
And then I get the news about McCaffrey. Yeah. So now I'm looking at Garrett Wilson, thinking to myself, like, okay, how many points are you going to have?
Right, and he didn't really do much as much.
What, he got like 13, 14?
Maybe, yeah.
Because the Jets went out there and, he got 6 receptions, I believe.
Right,
but
they were all short.
I was talking to my son, and my son was like, yo, you're going to lose. I was like, I know, it is what it is. And then he texted me, like, we were together.
Game changer.
We were together at Texas Roadhouse. He goes, hey, yo, Dad, look at the TV. And I looked that way, just like that.
Yeah. So you ended up getting me in the
took out the beer money boys out twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the sick pick league, it's safe to say that we took ourselves out. All you had to do was be there because that was just a horrendous lineup that I put together. I didn't even score 100 points.
I should have beat Netta. I had Ayuk left, and he shit the bed. If he catches that touchdown, I beat
Ayuk and get 10 points. Then?
No, I think he had 5, maybe 4.
Pretty gave you what? 18?
Well, now,
oh my God, you don't feel bad. I got beat 217 to 105 by Netta. Like every person on our team.
Oh, and Kingpins?
Yeah, every person on our team had 35 plus almost. I'm looking at like, yo, who didn't score? Everybody had a career day.
Rough week in Kingpins.
She's projected at 215 this week.
See what I mean? Like, what is this? A career team? Career year?
Yeah, she does have a strong team though. When you look at it.
And what makes Finer Things Club wild is there's only 4 playoff spots.
But she has a win now team. Like everybody was going for young guys early, and she was drafting in a way where like fuck it, well I'm just gonna win now.
Our boy,
just like I gave you the wave when you were leaving,
and she had the double pick. She was on the back end, I think, on the draft.
What about J.K. Dobbins? Remember him?
Big. He's getting the nod in Kingpins this week.
Like
JK's getting the nod.
A must start.
I'm starting.
It depends how
I got him in 3 leagues.
Running back, but I would consider it.
I have him in 3 leagues, and I was mad I didn't start him, but I was like, let me just see how.
Yeah,
and I thought about it.
Chargers are a run-first football.
You're looking at
Dobbins.
You look at J.K. Dobbins, and people tend to forget as a Baltimore Raven, he averaged 5 yards carry, and everybody's
his averages when he's healthy are actually kind of crazy. Like when he's on
like
the
everybody
field,
thought it just because Lamar Jackson. No. He's a really damn good running back.
A lot of days
and when he's healthy, he's one of the best players.
He outproduced all the Ravens wide receivers in the last couple of years when he was healthy.
Oh yeah,
Mark Andrews tight end, but I'm saying like Dobbins versus all the Ravens wide receivers,
when
he
healthy,
wiped them out.
Dobbins wiped them out. What's crazy is that he's still 27 years old, 26 years old.
He's going to if he stays healthy. This man is going to rush for 14
guess what?
yards.
They're going against the Panthers this week.
And
they're going against the Carolina Panthers.
20.
Fire him up.
J.K. Dobbins.
Just need Dobbins. Fire him up.
Fire up Quentin Johnson.
I wouldn't fire him up, but
fire up Lad
in the same game, you got McConkey got his touchdown. He got 14 points. That's a lot more than Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave.
Yes.
Like, McConkey went out there and gave you a serviceable number that could potentially have gotten you over the hump on Monday night, where you didn't have to have as much of a sweat.
Outscored those guys too.
he looked good out there too. Like,
and
I
they
like
robbed him of a beautiful 40-yard pass.
Justin Fields.
That
Pickens,
should have been 100. He should have had like a 125-yard receiving game that day.
It's one of those things where he's one of those names, like he was very polarizing. A lot of people were saying, I'm avoiding him, I'm going for him. And week one, seeing his activity and seeing what he did on the field, it's like it makes you feel good as a George Pickens owner. It's just like this guy can be like my high flex. This is wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 tier. You hope you have like that big name guy above him, like a Chase or a Amon-Ra St. Brown. And with those two together, that could be a nice little combo to help.
George Pickens. We're going to find out how good that Falcons defense is this week.
I think the Falcons defense is good.
Falcons could win this week on Monday night. I think this could be a get-right game for them. Are they in Philly? It's primetime Cousins. So we got to take that into account. It's primetime Cousins. So 0-1, like my Jets in fantasy so far.
My dad's
whoever did most points player-wise with lowest points eliminated. Big matchup between your Jets and my Titans this week.
I've heard of survival.
I had CMC and Dynasty. I was like, everybody who had CMC was locked in, bro.
Like for the year?
I guess. I don't know the rules to it, but I would hate to play that.
I need them.
I've heard of suicide pools, and yet again, I failed to get into one.
Well, a lot of people were eliminated because they picked
suicide pools are fun.
I wanted to do it.
I would love to do it. That's an intense sweat, because you can get eliminated week 1 from that shit. It's over for you. Like you're out of this shit if you get one wrong type shit, or the ones that you pick.
That's what it is, right? No, you only pick one, right? Each week,
you can only pick one team the whole year.
The whole year.
So if you pick, like, say this week,
that's scary.
Say you pick
the Chargers this week because they're playing Carolina.
The Chargers or Carolina, you can't pick the Chargers for the rest of the year.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what it is. It's one pick a week, right?
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boy, my boy, none other than Napalm J. While J.K. Dobbins is out there scoring touchdowns and running all over these guys, J.K. Palmer's over there throwing punches at people. With giving me 3 points in fantasy and throwing punches at guys,
that was crazy.
And then getting ejected. And I'm just saying to myself, like,
can we start one, starting 2? I'm in.
What, a suicide league?
I ain't doing no suicide league. I'll do a suicide pool.
All right, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. A suicide pool.
That's interesting. Like, I know a few people that are in it. There's a friend of mine was showing me like a sheet of nothing but the spreads for this week, and he has to pick either the plus or the minus. And they kind of do like what we do.
Is here.
What up?
Well.
What up, Paul? Thanks for checking in.
The big Valboski is like butter on a pancake.
That's definitely
we both melt in the hot spot. I'll never forget that one opening line he did. Underrated character in the Attitude Era.
Hello, ladies.
They had the segment with him and Jenna Jameson.
2-time Intercontinental Champion, 2-time Tag Team Champion. That's a good run.
He joined Right to Censor. Oh, man.
But there's a lot of ugly fantasy matchups this week. A lot of blowouts.
I'm sorry, like going from one ugly week to a week where you're kind of just wondering after what you just saw what this week is going to be like. Headlined by a great Thursday night matchup, and then you get into the shit when it comes to the Sunday slate. I'm looking at the slate right now.
There's only 3-4 o'clock games.
My best thing to say is don't overreact.
1 o'clock's crazy because there's a lot of games.
So that's
you got Vegas versus Baltimore. Both of them are trying to get a win. Vegas's defense played a lot better than what I thought it was going to do. But Gardner Minshew looked like a mess out there.
You have two big matchups at 4 though. You got Rams Cardinals and you got Cincinnati Kansas City. So like, yeah, it's only 3 matchups, but there's 2 like big ones that are, you know what I mean, kind of, and everybody else like in between playing.
Baltimore should be Vegas easily. They should. The Chargers and Carolina game, like, stick that on Nickelodeon. Let the kids enjoy that for fun.
Right. Agreed.
Saints Dallas is intriguing. Saints all why is it intriguing? Derek Carr is probably going to get his butt whooped by this.
That game's not intriguing.
Dallas.
That's going to be a massacre.
Yeah.
Because the Cowboys and the Panthers are two different.
Browns.
Like the
Can
Cowboys.
we finally admit that Deshaun Watson is washed?
I never hyped them up on this podcast.
I never really did either.
You're just talking to the pundits at this point.
There's a lot of pundits out there
none
that
of us-
thought like, oh, this man said my team today in an interview, my team believes in me because of my aura. What is your aura? Getting another lawsuit handed to you yesterday?
Ouch.
It's a tough aura, my friend.
And now, not to mention, there's a morality clause in the contract. So if the Browns want to, the Browns can honestly get out of that contract and not owe him any money.
So wait,
It's like a morality clause.
So what has to happen in order for them to be able to get out of it?
It's
He
just
has to be guilty.
I don't know how it goes, but
getting accused of doing
there's
these things.
loopholes.
I mean, he's getting another lawsuit.
If I'm the
That's another
Browns,
accusation,
I'd get
right?
out of it. I'd do it.
I mean, why not, dude?
Get out of that contract.
They
He's been
can,
nothing
that's
but
the
headaches.
best thing for
He is
him.
completely underperformed since he's been there. Paul is absolutely right. He has nothing to play for because guess what? His contract is guaranteed. Guaranteed money. So,
And if he keeps settling and paying these shits off, he'll never get charged with anything.
let me look it up.
And then it makes it even more frustrating at that point. It's like, what are the
So,
women even doing
he's
here? Like,
using-
are we gonna charge this man, or are you guys just looking for money at this point?
He's using the Browns' money as hush money.
Rob, what up, bro?
What's up, bro? I'm in a.
I hope you win that league,
I'm
damn
in a
it.
heated battle with Rose right now, fighting for my life each and every day. I lost Schwarber yesterday to an unfortunate injury. He wasn't in the lineup today, so I'm a little nervous right now. I'm waiting for my Dodgers guys to come through in the late night game and hopefully, get some runs up for me. But Browns are sticking with him. Apparently, Winston is on the trade block. Yeah, because like Winston is a disaster, guys. Like everybody keeps saying Winston. Like he has not been fantasy viable for about 2.5 to 3 years. Like it was a while ago when I get it. He was putting up like him and Mike Evans together. Forget about it. Like he was putting up numbers for people. I remember people were drafting him in the 2-quarterback league, but they like Dorian Thompson. They see something in that kid, and they see something in him to the point where they're willing to rid themselves of, a guy who could potentially get himself a job somewhere else. When you're looking at the landscape of the league right now, like Malik Willis got a job. So Winston can definitely get one somewhere.
Hey, Daniel
right?
Jones
Like-
got a job, right?
Oh. And he gets
All right,
paid
so-
handsomely for his job.
When he had a clause in his contract when he first signed in 2022 in a restructured deal after the following season, when they tried to create all that cap space. The document from March 2023 is subhead titled Default. In it, the player and team agree on relevant terms that would render Watson default of his contract, where his 2023 guarantee shall be deemed null and void from the beginning and its entirety, regardless of whether or not the 2023 guarantee had otherwise in accordance to the terms at the time of the player's default. The list includes sustaining injury while skydiving, hang gliding, rock or mount climbing, racing of any kind, including a driver or passenger, motorcycle, use of off-road or all-terrain vehicles, professional wrestling, boxing, use of firearms, scuba diving, jet skiing, surfing, bungee jumping, basketball. If Watson fails or refuses to report practice or play with club for any reason, leaves club without his prior written consent, which shall not be unreasonable withheld, retire from professional football, and more. It also includes a clause which may be relevant now that the NFL has opened its investigation. Watson will be considered in default following an NFL or team suspension for conduct detrimental or being suspended under the NFL personal conduct policy or the NFL policy of performance-enhancing substances or the NFL policy of program of substances of abuse.
Oh, only those things? Not.
It also includes a potential relevant clause where Watson can be considered in default if he is reasonably believed by the club to engage in a personal conduct that materially and adversely affects or reflects on club or has contract terminated for engaging in personal conduct that reasonably judged by the club to materially and adversely affect or reflect the club. So basically, if he gets suspended for this, saying that he's already been told he's not going to be placed on the exemption list this season because the NFL just opened this investigation to these. Because remember, Goodell left it open-ended when he first reinstated him and told him if something else came about, they would revisit the terms and there would be more suspension.
Juan Soto, 2-run shot. Let's go.
If he were to be suspended again, the Browns can get out of this deal and not pay him his guarantee money and move on. Meanwhile, the guy they got rid of to replace him.
4 touchdown passes.
4 touchdown passes, 280 yards passing. Won a division title last year with the Bucs. Went to the playoffs. Won a playoff game, if I may add.
Have you guys heard the clip of the Cleveland Browns radio host going apeshit on a caller because the guy brought up the QBR numbers between Mayfield and Watson this past week?
No way.
Yo, he flipped his
He lost it.
shit.
And
And the first thing, so the guy picks up and he goes, "Hey, Rick, how's it going?" And the first thing that Rick says goes, I want to say he said something like 92 to 16.9. And the radio host was like, what is that? What are we talking about? He goes, the QBR for Mayfield and Watson. He goes, you know what? I can't do this today. I cannot do this today. We got to talk about something else other than Mayfield.
That is
Yo, he was
a true fan of a team who does not want to hear anything
Yo,
about
snapped
snares
on
and
the guy.
QBRs
Snapped in the guy.
because it does not
But he's
bring
right,
in
though.
any solace.
You're mad, but the caller's right.
Well,
Yeah.
They know they screwed up. They
Baker
know it was
Mayfield
terrible.
in his last season with the Browns, as bad as he may have been, was playing like a broken man.
Yeah.
He had knee issues. He had foot issues.
He
had
even looked good in
throwing
Carolina
arms.
now for nothing.
He had cracked ribs.
Yeah. He put it out there for them though. He was getting effed up for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they let him go. That kind of
We all knew it.
And then we laughed when he went to Carolina because he played like shit, but now we know why.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers were terrible. When he went to the Rams for those last couple games of that year, he actually played decent.
Yes, he did.
Won 1 or 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. He had a nice
You're right.
upset.
I want to say his first game too that he actually started one.
4 touchdowns.
It was a
passes.
Thursday night game, I think he won.
Yeah.
Came out and like with only a couple days practice, Sean McVay retooled this guy. You put him in Tampa, and look what he did with Tampa. Everybody, all of us in this podcast didn't think Tampa was doing anything last year.
Right.
Tampa came out. This man was
I
throwing
heard-
the bombs left and
I
right.
heard Shannon Sharp drop a video.
IG video,
That's
right?
wild.
Yeah, I think I heard.
Wild
about that on
times we're
Twitter.
living in, guys. Wild times.
Hey man, Shannon Sharp
Carolina,
is living on another world.
I mean, I expected to see a little bit of growth out of this Carolina Panthers team. Maybe they'll show a little bit more fight this week, but it's looking bad out there.
I see
If the New
Deontay
Orleans
Johnson
Saints-
got cut from a couple fantasy teams.
Deontay Johnson's getting dropped in a
Yeah,
few leagues.
yeah.
Maybe that could be week 1 overreactions or just
It
the
could
fact
be.
that
I'm
you want
not ready
no
to do
parts
it
of
yet.
this offense. I'm not. I'm holding on. I'm not ready to do it. I'm not going to jump the
Who's
gun
the
because
backup
he's still the
in
primary
Carolina?
target.
QB.
I don't know. Like, he's still the primary target getter. It's Deontay Johnson. I don't know what their run game did, but nobody did anything because nobody scored a point.
No.
So, going into this matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers, yes, I picked up the Chargers defense on waivers.
They
after
made
what I
Derek
saw
Carr
last
look
week.
like Drew Brees.
See, I wanted to, but I have Pittsburgh in a lot of places, and they play Denver, so it's like.
And you're going to fire up
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
had
if you
good
have
defense.
them.
No,
Their
yeah,
points this week were good.
Yeah,
You're-
I
that's-
just thought
I'm-
about the Chargers defense. Like, damn, let me see where I can
The
get them.
Pittsburgh
And
Steelers-
I have the Chargers
Drake
defense.
London,
I have,
Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson and Kirk Cousins to 54 yards in the second half.
I picked up the Chargers defense in leagues where I'm streaming anyway. Like everywhere where I'm streaming defense, like the
What about,
leagues
like,
where I
the
picked like
Panthers?
Seattle and shit like that,
Right.
I
That's
grabbed the
sharp.
Chargers. But the leagues where I have the 49ers, Dallas, Pittsburgh, like that's what I'm starting for this week because Dallas is going to eat. The Steelers defense is going to eat against Bo Nix, and San Francisco has Sam Darnold and the Minnesota
So
Vikings.
the trio's back. All right, Drew. Up.
What's up, Drewski? Chuba Hubbard, baby.
Andy Dalton,
What was Chuba Hubbard's numbers this week? I really don't know.
Big Red.
For what? Oh, really?
Pittsburgh got a
Andy
win
Dalton.
with 0 touchdowns. Yeah,
Really?
well, Chris Boswell was the
Red
man
Rifle?
for them. And TJ Watt got me like 22-something points.
The finer
The
things
IVP.
called.
Yo,
Absolutely loved
Roquan Smith gave me almost 30 points.
I got 20 points from Eden
My
Hutchinson.
Elite 8 team is
So-
pretty.
We know that we hit on our IDPs. Like, we're feeling good about the
Sergio
IDPs
said I
that we
need wide
actually
receivers,
picked.
and I had the most
Yo,
points
I seen
with no wide receivers apparently.
Who's your wide receiver one?
Chuba
Cooper
Hubbard,
Kupp.
baby.
Cooper Kupp.
I didn't draft him as my wide receiver one, but he is my wide receiver one.
We know you traded him. Boswell needs a stat
Boswell's
sheet.
the most accurate kicker in the last 3 years for 50 yards and more.
And fire up that Pittsburgh defense against the Broncos this week. That's a no-brainer.
Uh,
That is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and in Elite 8, I have
I'm
Marvin
not-
Harrison Jr., Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, and
I'm not feeling good about that trip to Denver.
It's going to be a disgusting game. You guys are going to end up winning like 8-3
I
or
can't remember
something.
the last time
Nobody's
we
going
won
to
in
score
Denver.
touchdowns.
Listen, as long
It's
as they
field goal.
prevent
The
the
last
touchdowns,
time
I'll
we
be
won
As
in
long as
Denver
Boswell is
was
there, you guys are
2007.
going to be okay.
We haven't won in Denver since 2007.
Well, you know, Justin Fields is going up.
Different Denver team.
I hope.
Justin
And
Fields is going
you
up
don't have
against
to-
Patrick Surtain, the number one highest paid DB
George
in the
Pickens
league.
versus Surtain is going to be an interesting matchup. George already said today he fears no man,
Of course.
and that he goes, I give respect to Surtain, but I'm George Pickens, so
Just don't get yourself ejected.
let's get it. And
Right.
you know,
Crazy ass.
Right,
He got
right,
that AB in him, dog.
Yeah.
Joey Porter was like, I'm looking forward to playing against Cam's Cortland Sutton.
Well, I'm not looking forward to offense in that game because
want
I think
you
it's going to
guys-
be a defensive struggle again and field goals, which favors Boswell and the Steelers. 9-3. 9-3 ball game.
Might
Take
be
the Steelers spread on it and just
15
get away from that game.
15-6.
15-6. Oh,
15-6.
Boswell's going off there.
Yes.
He's getting claimed off waivers. He's trending
If the
up right
Steelers
now.
win, the score is going to be 17-7.
Eagles over Falcons in the Bird
That's a
Bowl.
that's a good prediction.
But yeah, I already circled the Steelers on my weekly.
And one of those
polls.
touchdowns is going to be a defensive touchdown.
I don't
I
see
Don't
it.
get Steelers
hope-
fans don't get hype.
I hope the other one's to Najee because
Oh, I hope so.
I need Najee.
I got the Steelers defense in the
Unless
league
Fields
where I scored
vultures.
the most points in.
Fuck that kid.
Because it looks like Russ, they're really taking precaution with him because since 36 years old, it's a calf. Just like McCaffrey, you don't want it to like pop.
So he's gonna come out in the shoulder pads again with the headset, like
That was weird.
just amped
That
up.
was
No,
not-
it's Russ.
It's
bro.
Russ, though.
Like,
I
it's
mean,
Russ.
I guess.
It's a Russ.
the
Yeah,
same
very-
guy.
It's a very
Russ, the
Russell
same
Wilson thing,
guy
but that was weird.
who went on Heinz Field's turf in a hoodie and did a whole drive.
with nobody out there, dog. An invisible drive, and he's talking to people like he did a mock hurry up offense with none of the other offense there.
You see when he went like this, he got on his knee, looked up.
It was like
ready.
it was
Next
like
time, what?
it
Let's
was
go.
like when Creed was the boss for a week, and Creed was running a meeting, and nobody was in the room when he was running it. Like that's what Russ was doing. Bro is weird, so weird that the Steelers are like, let's give Justin Fields another shot. We'll have this guy sit on ice until he's healthy. But if this kid with that defense can find a way to get us another win, then you just ride the gravy train, bro. You don't change what works. There's nothing you need to change about what works. The Steelers won. Justin Fields was the starting quarterback. And that's it. Like,
I actually was okay with the game on -2 calls. Like everybody's like the offense was putrid. No, it wasn't. If you look
I
at
mean,
it,
it's easy to be okay
they
with the win.
ran the ball. They got inside the opponent's
Russ gonna
territory.
lose his starting
They just
job.
convert to touchdowns. That's what it comes down
The Falcons' defense
Yeah,
didn't do
that's-
bad at
that's
all. The
still a problem at the
Falcons'
end of the
defense
day.
didn't get any run support. Like
to.
Falcons'
They went
defense,
3 and out twice the entire game. We used to go 3 and out 4 times in a quarter, bro. In a quarter.
Man,
Guess what? I'm taking that means, you know what that means? That means you're holding on to the ball, and guess who's staying on the sideline fresh?
yeah, but what are you?
And look
what
what
are you
you
saying
did.
if you lose?
We lose. It was a hard fought
Oscar,
matchup.
No way.
you won't be saying
There's
those
no
same
way.
things. You'll be complaining and making
You'll be
excuses.
so much
Nah.
angrier. That's number
Yeah.
one. And you'll be screaming on this podcast.
Nobody saw the
talking
third.
about why
Nobody
you
saw
didn't
the
score
holding
to-
call in the third quarter. I
Yeah,
guess that's what
listen,
we're
you'll
doing.
be
It's
screaming
a different
right
conversation.
Now.
I
Screaming
Honestly,
furious that you guys didn't score a touchdown.
It was BS. That BS pass interference on 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about BS pass interference calls,
Because
we
if you
had one
score
too.
that, the team got
Did you?
the
Yeah, the Adoree Jackson one. Complete BS.
Oh,
Complete BS.
my
Oh.
boy.
Terrell was like, "What? You didn't see him shove him, and they slow motion, and he like didn't shove at all." I'm like, "What did you see?" Because I didn't see it.
And let's not talk about the phantom offsides call. Then the Falcons would have never scored a touchdown.
I didn't see that.
The phantom goes TJ Watt.
So
time-
basically, the Steelers got cheated.
yes,
The
And we
Steelers got
won.
cheated. So
and we
there
won.
we go. Whether they win or lose, the Steelers
We
got
won.
cheated somehow.
Bro,
give this
that-
guy a referee shirt and just stand back.
listen, TJ Watt won Defensive Player of the Year already in the first week of the season.
I told you I was going to draft him. I did it right in front of you. And he was great. If only CMC shows up,
Could
I
you
would
imagine those sacks counted? And the other 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, like he kept
And
doing stuff, and then I wasn't getting the points. I was like, "Yo, like they got another penalty." Like, this
Yeah, I
is-
thought TJ
it
was
was-
gonna have you 40 points.
it was another
He could have,
hideous.
bro. I added it up.
Imagine. Well, Boswell got 26 fantasy points. Imagine your IDP getting you 40 points, and Chris Olave is giving you 3.
Oh,
Like,
no. Yeah,
bro,
no.
I still don't get it. The Saints scored 47 points, and Chris Olave has 3 points. So Rashid Shaheed is Derek Carr wide
That's
receiver
crazy.
1.
What did Kamara do?
Kamara was amazing.
Yeah,
Kamara had like 20-something points for him.
See, that's the problem. I was
Kamara
so in
went
the zone.
nuts.
Yeah, he had like 8 targets, 6 receptions for like 30, 40 yards and a bunch of rushing yards.
Kamara proved, like everybody who was afraid of him, Kamara proved he's matchup proof because guess what? When the Saints are losing, he's getting passes. When they're winning, he's running the ball.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what type of game the Saints are playing. Kamara is going to be out there being a dog, getting his shit. And not to mention,
I was glad to take a Kamara whenever I could in every league.
like imagine Joe Mixon, top 5 running back this week,
was
150 rushing yards.
Yeah, no, that was insane. I didn't
My
see
boy,
that happening.
Beer Money Boy.
Yo,
Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara.
you would have had 12 more points on sacks. Every sack is 6 points.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
I would
I'm
have still
happy
lost.
I got Roquan then.
I would have lost
12.
by like what, 4 or
You
5
would have had
points?
12 points. Now let's look at the fumble recoveries are 3 points. That's another 6 points because you recovered 2 of them that got overturned.
Oh, so I would have won.
Yeah.
What's the over-under on the veto coming in mid-game week 2? Well, is it? Isn't Drew Lock technically the start? The second string?
He is healthy, I believe.
If I'm not mistaken. Not the veto. I think the veto's 3rd string
For what?
on your depth chart, right? The veto's
Yes.
3.
Yeah. If you guys think that
So
there's
Locke
a
is
better
back.
quarterback on the Giants roster than Daniel Jones, everybody's on crazy drugs.
What a game!
Yeah, what a game.
What a game! That was.
What a game.
What a performance!
Let it out, Mike.
The Giants faithful letting them have it.
Let it out. It's okay.
You know,
It's okay.
my good friend over here was having a rough Sunday.
How many more shots did you take?
I didn't drink at all.
Oh, we weren't even like I had
I didn't
I was
drink at all.
pounding beers for a
You
little
know
bit,
what
like,
it was?
a
I think
sobering
we were
drinking
drinking
reality.
beer like that crazy much because it's week 1 and we're like,
Well, I had
Yeah,
5
I
beers.
knew I wanted to chill. I knew I wanted to chill this week. I wanted to remember this week 1. That's how I came into the.
Oh, we remembered it.
Yeah, I wish I did it. I wish I did it. What
I
happened
think we
on
need to try
Sunday
and-
in that Giants game was disgusting, to say the least.
Gross.
Honestly,
Sam Darnold was out there making plays.
we had the ball first, and that first drive looked stupid. It just looked stupid. The play calling was stupid.
Dayball's calling the plays, right?
Dayball's calling the plays. Stupid, predictable, simple, conservative ass plays.
Yeah.
All through the game, not just the first drive. Defensively, the first
it didn't
2
make
drives,
sense to
3
run your
drives.
quarterback coming off of ACL. I will say that.
Design runs for the guy off an ACL injury who has the injury clause in his contract. Design
the
runs.
Scary part.
That's
the
what we
part
do.
Where it's like
That's what we do. Week 1, bro. We didn't settle into this shit.
that's the one.
So on top of calling simple as predictable plays, we're running design QB plays, run plays
Would you rather
for the guy off an ACL injury.
take your meds?
Take your meds.
Would you rather bench Daniel Jones or keep having design run plays for him
So
like you did this past week?
So let me ask you. I'm going to ask you a question to that question. Do you bench Daniel Jones and just tell your fan base week 2, here it is. Here's the white towel, guys.
Yeah, but they already feel that way. What
The
Jones
fans
out there?
do. You
Like,
can't, as an organization, you can't blatantly do that. So that's one of the reasons why they paid him to begin
They're going to
with.
complain anyway.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not saying he gets
Doesn't
benched.
matter. You
this
know why?
week.
Because
I'm-
there's going to be 30,000 people in those seats.
week 7. If you guys are 1-5, right? If you're 1-5,
He's
and by
1
week
5.
7,
There might be a big
now
shakeup
it's like,
than
would
that.
you rather bench Daniel Jones or keep having these design QB
Now,
runs?
again, that's still an organizational decision because, again, you have the injury clause in that contract. So then you take the Denver route, like
that's
they
like
did
92
Russ.
million, right? 92, 93 million
No.
guaranteed on the if
No,
he gets hurt.
we just pay him out for this year. We sit him, we pay him out for this year, and then we release him.
Oh.
After this year, he gets his guaranteed money already. It's already been
Chris
paid.
said do it just to throw them, just to show them no difference, probably. To
Just
tell them to shut it.
It's not, no, because you know what's wrong with these Giants fans? First of all, 65% of them that complain, that you see complain, that these people
What is
went.
it, New York
These
360?
people went to the game
Giants
just
The pundits.
to boo. Literally just to boo. They didn't go there to watch the Giants win.
They are already
Bro,
so
they were
pissed off.
booing on the third down play.
Yep.
On the third down play.
Giants were ready to boo because they are done with Daniel Jones. They're done with it. They're done with him.
I get that, but that's not why you go to games. That's not what you do in week 1.
That's why they're going. They're paying money to do this.
I know. It's ridiculous. That's my problem. It's super. Danny Dimes, baby. Thank you, Alex. F the Eagles.
Mr. 40.
Mr. 40 with him guys, Mr. 50 what?
Chris says they're not going to bench a guy getting $40 million because either way they still kick
But
themselves
the
in the
Giants
ass.
fans, they missed Saquon.
Oh, because that was the smart. That would have been. You know what else? Saquon wasn't scoring 3 touchdowns for us on Sunday. I can guarantee you that.
He scored.
You want to know why? Every single run play that was called, there was at least 2 defensive linemen in Singletary's face before he can even reach the line of scrimmage. It's ridiculous.
Who else got
Maybe
touches?
he would have scored those touchdowns off of the passing game.
Who else got touches?
Maybe because that's all Daniel Jones was doing. He wasn't even throwing the ball more than 15 yards down the field. So that shit was a little annoying too.
Malik Neighbors looked like he was over it already.
Malik Neighbors didn't get a target until like 25 plays into the game.
Wandale Robinson got 12 targets.
Listen, what
Danny
are you
Jones,
drafting
what are you
Malik
doing?
Neighbors for in the 6th pick if you're going to not give him the ball until
If you're gonna
the
throw
second
12
quarter? It wasn't the second quarter until he caught his first pass. It was ridiculous, bro.
Should have just
Super-
franchise tag
Malik Neighbors.
Who?
Daniel Jones. He should have been the one that got the tag, and
No,
Barkley should have got the
shouldn't
deal.
have franchise tagged him because that would have been more money than the 5th-year option. What we should have did was give him the 5th-year option. He would have played shitty like he did and got hurt, and we could have just released him after that 5th year. But instead, we have this. We could have released him after that 5th year.
Giants fans paying top dollar to go watch their team and talk.
I was
shit to them the
screaming
whole
this
time.
shit for 3 years, bro. Listen, and you guys know it. I've been a big Daniel Jones supporter, bro. And I came into this year I said it on this podcast. He has no excuses. On offense, when there was pass plays being called, on at least 60% of those pass plays, Daniel Jones had more than enough time to make a decision and make a pass. But again, the plays were super simple. He wasn't anticipating shit, and we have the product that we've seen on week 1. But
The Steelers realized their mistake really quick.
But that's what happens. That's the difference between a Mike Tomlin and a Brian Dable. Honestly, that's a big difference.
And Brian Dable's calling the offensive plays right now.
Yeah. There's no hiding behind
I
it.
didn't know how to feel about that. I mean,
That just makes your seat hotter.
it really does.
Like,
no, it really
with
does.
this
Because
year, what's happening?
I like Shane and Dable. I like them as a duo, and I kind of believe in their philosophy. But at the same time, it's just not. After week 1, it's not. It's obviously not. I don't know if it's going to work.
The field was.
But that's a big overreaction too, because again, it is just
Dable
week
gone,
1.
dog. I don't think he survives.
Is that an
this year.
overreaction? Dable being gone?
Nah, I don't think it's an overreaction.
I think
Because I
week
think it's a
7
real
in your
possibility.
scenario, if they're 1-5, 1-6, I can see the GM trying to keep his job by cutting bait on him quick.
I don't see the Giants don't fire coaches in mid-year. That's just not something the Giants do. Mara, even if Shane wanted to do something like that, I don't think Mara would let him.
Now, is that the problem?
It could be.
John Mara think he's Jerry Jones.
No, I don't. I think nobody's Jerry Jones.
He's depressed right now, dog. He
He
told
is.
everybody how he was going to feel. If
I'm not
Saquon
gonna
Barkley
be able
was
to
an
sleep.
Eagle.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a hard time
Listen,
sleeping
the
at night
problem with
if
that too
Saquon
is that
Barkley is an Eagle.
Saquon was an Eagle before the season ended. He was an Eagle before the season ended last year. So I don't, there was nothing that this front office or Mr. Mara himself could have done. All they could have done is offer.
Listen, the pick 6 looked
Guaranteed.
vaguely familiar to the freaking preseason game 2.
No, not at all. It
Well-
was actually completely different.
well,
It was really completely
Wandale got 12 targets. So at one point, Daniel Jones wasn't even looking at anybody else. Like, he was looking for where Wandale Robinson was. And, here you go.
To be honest, he seemed like the only one that was kind of getting open until they started drawing up the Malik Neighbor plays. And then Malik Neighbor started finding holes in their zone defense that they kept.
They
playing.
designed plays for the league neighbors mid-game instead of having them.
Instead of the
to
very
game
beginning.
plan.
And there was no play action. Again, and they couldn't establish anything on the run because their defense was in the backfield every single time.
So the offensive line is still terrible.
And I touched on the
That's
defense
crazy.
just in the beginning of my conversation. The defense had a great first 3 drives. Forced fumble, interception, stopping the run, everything like that.
I know.
And
I'm
then,
watching it go
out of nowhere, Darnold goes 12 for 12.
Play,
It was insane.
play calling and quarterback play trash. Alex says they didn't want to pay Saquon. I said a lot of the fan base
I
never
mean, we
really
tried to
wanted
pay Saquon. He didn't want to be there. That was more than obvious. It's more than obvious.
An ongoing storyline that is still spilling into this season.
Daniel over him.
I mean, you pick QBs over running backs.
Not that QB.
It doesn't matter. You pick QBs over running backs.
So,
because if we pay Saquon Barkley and let Daniel Jones go, and let's say Drew Lock is the starter this year, and we have the same thing happen in week 1.
maybe you don't.
What's everybody angry about?
Maybe you
why
don't
didn't we go out and sign a run? Why didn't we go out and sign a
you don't
quarterback
draft
instead of signing
Malik
Saquon?
Neighbors.
You don't draft
You draft
David,
the quarterback this year.
We still had the 6th pick.
But
What if you didn't have 6? What if you were the 3rd pick because you were that lousy?
No,
you
there's no
would
way.
go quarterback, and because you're going quarterback next year if this shit continues to play out like this. Like,
yeah, and then the
you're
quarterback's
drafting
coming
a
out next
quarterback.
year.
Cam
Not
Ward?
hot neither.
and they're gonna get thrown to the wolves. This
Cam
offensive
Ward?
line don't get
He's
better.
probably the best one
Like-
right now. I mean, it's only 3 weeks in, but he's probably the best.
Shador
college quarterback.
Sanders?
Yeah, he's
And
trash.
it might suck, but
Listen,
you might be in a
That's
situation.
Colorado's trash.
like-
Exactly.
Their best player is Travis Hunter.
You might be in a situation where the Giants' needs for somebody at the offensive line could outweigh them getting a quarterback with that first round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, their offensive line will be so bad. It's like, we need to shore this up before we get the quarterback, and then you go sign a vet, bring him into the mix instead of drafting
vet is
someone.
available.
I
And
mean, I don't know right now,
that was a
but,
problem when Danny was owed the contract. Well, who was available? If we don't sign Daniel Jones, who did you want to
I
go
know
get?
it doesn't sound pretty, but Jacoby Brissett
Oh,
can manage games.
that
He
And
was
I
already
just-
signed, though. He was already signed.
That actually wouldn't have
There
been
was
bad.
nobody. He wasn't available then. I mean, trade, yeah,
Oof.
maybe, yeah, we could have did that, but backup QBs are a commodity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something you just give up easily.
I
and
get
it's
it,
not
but
something you're
there
going to pay
could
for,
have
pay up for
I
neither.
don't know.
I did bet on a Butler home run, but that
It wasn't,
doesn't hurt
bro.
me in our
It wasn't
matchup.
in that whole scenario with us and Daniel Jones. It
Tyrod
wasn't
Taylor.
easy to go through, and he made it even harder taking us to the fucking playoffs and beating the Vikings.
Well, they
the way
had
he did.
Tyrod Taylor that year.
Yeah, look what he did though. DeVito looked better than Tyrod,
I'd have traded
and
y'all
Tyrod got hurt
Trubisky.
again. The guy's been in the league for almost 10 years. All he does is get hurt.
I'd have traded you Mitch.
Come on, man. I'd rather have Tyrod.
He had the playbook.
Well, Mason Rudolph, right? How did we get him? He was just sitting there.
Well, they let him
Signed
go. He was
But
on contract.
Russell Wilson didn't sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right before Russell signed that, said that he wanted to come in, the Steelers were actually finalizing a contract to bring Mason Rudolph back.
Lock isn't the answer, bro. That is not the answer. We just paid Brian Burns how many millions of dollars? He
Ryan
had 0
Tannehill.
tackles.
Brian Tannehill.
0 tackles. Kayvon Thibodeau was 5th last year in
I'm
sacks. What did he do?
surprised.
0 tackles,
Here we
0
go.
pressures. Dexter Lawrence was the only person, and the rookie Drew Phillips. Dexter Lawrence and Drew Phillips were the only defensive players that did anything on Sunday. That's a problem, bro. This team was supposed to be built on protect the quarterback, get at the quarterback. We protected the quarterback, we didn't get after him. That's a problem. Sam Darnold went 12 for 12 on us. Sam Darnold
Yeah, he was carving
went
him
12 for 12
He was
and
carving him
carved us up, bro. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Drew Lock isn't the answer. There's a bigger problem going on. There's a bigger problem.
Ring the
going on.
bell.
What is it? Is it Shane?
It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Blow it off.
It's the whole thing.
Everyone?
I mean, I'm not saying blow it up, and I'm not saying give up. After week 1, everything was a problem. Everything. Nothing. There was no uniformity. There was no substance to what we were putting on the field on Sunday.
Bro has a fear of throwing down the field. At least Burns playing. Didn't trade a third guarantee.
Well,
Seven
I mean,
players.
I'd be scared too, not knowing when I'm going to get my ass cracked. And unfortunately, he's not used to being in a pocket that not only doesn't collapse but shifts. If you watch the game on Sunday, the pocket was actually shifting left, shifting right, and Daniel Jones was making the wrong. Like his pocket presence is
He was
so
shifting
bad.
out. He was shifting
He was
out of the
shifting,
shift.
but
He was
he was shifting into the defensive lineman
Yeah.
though. Like it was his pocket presence is so off, but he's never even pockets like that before. I can't recall seeing pockets the way I've seen him on Sunday. He had time on the ball,
Practice tonight.
but you tell he's looking for somebody to come crack him. He's looking for
So
it.
that's kind of a him
So
thing.
that
Then.
it's a him
Like-
thing on 2 parts. It's a mental thing because again, the guy just tore his ACL and he had a neck injury last year. So I'm sure he's thinking about that. This is his first live game since then. All right.
He ran into
Secondly,
blitz.
the anticipation, which has been my biggest Daniel Jones problem for him for years, is that he's just not anticipating the throws. The guys are running routes, and he's waiting for them to get open as to where just throwing the ball, letting it loose, and trusting that your guy's going to be there where he's supposed to be, essentially. So those are the two biggest problems as far as Danny goes. Those were the two biggest problems on Sunday when it comes to what his thing was. The other thing was everything else, the play calling, the coaching. We got out-coached. Plain and simple. We got out-coached.
The Vikings were out there trying to win that
Defensively,
football game.
again, the two biggest defensive linemen that we have, and again, I honestly feel that we have 3 top 5 defensive linemen on that team. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. Those
I
are
won't argue
top 5 guys, and they didn't look like it, except for Dexter Lawrence.
Is that the thing that disappointed you the most? Is
I
how
think
the
so.
defense
Yeah,
looked?
no, I think so, because
Couldn't hold
offensively, I'm expecting to have problems on week 1. I really am, especially in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The way it dragged out, it was horrible because defensively we did shit. Again, Sam Darnold went 12 for 12, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
Gary, no timing and holds the ball too long. Guys were open.
I mean,
Chris, that's what the Giants are doing.
that's the anticipation part of it, because that I'm telling you. I'm sure guys were open, and he had the time to throw it. He's just not anticipating the routes. Top 5? You're telling me that Brian Burns isn't a top 5 defensive lineman?
He is.
Kayvon Thibodeau was top 5 in sacks last year. If he wasn't top 5 lineman, he was at the very least a top 10 one. And Dexter Lawrence is always in the top 5 defensive lineman. So you tell me, bro,
I can
that
tell
is
you.
not crack cocaine. That's pure facts.
But the Eagles' defensive line.
And way better than the defensive. It might not look like it on Sunday, but at the end of the day, on paper and what these guys done individually, way better than what the Eagles have on paper.
And this week we got Commanders versus Giants. So now Daniel Jones is going up against
Well,
arguably
this-
the 32nd ranked defense in football.
And
They've been
even
terrible for
regardless of
very
that,
long
it's
time.
the one team he actually looks good against anytime he plays.
It's the team he puts up
So
fantasy numbers on.
he needs to change what happened. He needs to change the narrative.
So this needs to be
This
a
is-
big week for him.
Yeah, it has to be.
Divisional game,
It really has
first
to
divisional game for the Giants.
It-
Does his performance this week sway your decision as far as that conversation about the benching, which I feel like is more likely to happen
Yeah,
than Dable getting fired?
the benching is going
Out
to
of
be
the
a
two.
conversation all year long.
DJ,
I'll entertain it
300
with
yards,
people
3
and shit like
touchdowns,
that,
book
but
it.
I wish, man. I really do wish.
The people who are already
The
done.
Eagles did get a win against the better team than the Giants.
Okay.
Packers are a very good team, but
yeah. And
what if Love doesn't get hurt?
Right. I think he makes a play at the end there, if you ask me, but
The Giants fans who are already done with Danny Dimes, if he does well this week, they're just going to say all he did was buy himself another week.
We still smoking the
yeah,
It's
no,
not- it's not gonna be
they're not going to
enough.
be satisfied. Nobody's going to be
And
satisfied.
touchdown,
Nobody's going to be
Packers
satisfied with a win
Packers
next week
beat
with me.
themselves.
Probably, I feel like I'm the
Yeah.
only Giants fan who would actually be satisfied with the win.
It's a division win nonetheless if it happens. You're going up against Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, 32nd ranked defense.
Right, and this is a good chance for even the defense.
And
for
Dan
taking-
Quinn came out and said that 14 carries was way too many for Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels,
they don't want
and that his running backs are the ones
Well,
supposed
you got
to be getting
two.
carries.
You got 2 of them, and I think they're going to use both of them well. So I am
He
ready,
said
Panthers
expect
easily.
Brian Robinson to get
I am ready to fire up Robinson and Austin
Everywhere.
Eckler. Like I'm ready to fire up Austin Eckler because he
I
could
mean, he had
potentially
7
have a
or 8
blow-up
fantasy
game.
points, but I mean, yeah, you can fire him.
It's
with-
Would
just-
you want to be the pick this year?
no.
You could get a
No.
We get a number 1 pick, Giants or the Panthers.
I don't want to be the worst team in the league. I don't want to be the worst. So no.
I mean, there's still a shot that it's the Bears, even though they won because of their defense.
What
not
if you
'cause of
were
their
born with
quarterback.
club feet? What ifs aren't reality?
Well, neither is this us having the number 1 pick because that's not a reality yet neither.
So-
So, what ifs is all we have, Paul.
Reality is that the fan base is going to be more angry if they lose to Washington, and it's
His
not just
fan base is
losing,
already
it's
angry,
how you
bro.
lose.
We
It's how you
we
lose.
literally just said 2 minutes ago that the fan base is going to be angry if they win.
Yeah.
So they're going to be angry regardless. I'm not worried about this fan base
This
being
is the
angry.
same fan base that had the picture Trevor Lawrence of his hands.
Never forget that one.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was
I will never forget
Giants
that one.
360.
That was crazy.
That was weird.
The Pope is holding up Trevor Lawrence's
That was
hands like
weird, bro.
it's like, yo, what?
And how's Trevor Lawrence turned out?
So like before Danny Dimes, this fan base has been praying for a quarterback. Like
Right.
they're starving for a quarterback.
Hey man, I'm in the same boat.
And Danny Dimes just
Since
fed that
our
hunger in a negative
all-star-
way.
Yeah,
Since our
but
Hall
again,
of Fame
coaching makes a
quarterback-
difference too, though, man. You know, you guys have
I don't argue that. I don't argue that at all. Like, that's a problem.
culture
and
is big, bro.
Brian
Culture is
Daboll
big.
might have to answer for this, especially because he's holding the clipboard calling these plays. Putting your quarterback in line of fire, that organization might have to
Paul,
pay this kid if something happens
this
to
is
him.
what Paul
I'm
just
not
said.
coming out and saying that I want him
Paul gave you
gone
a
and all
little
this stuff.
compliment, a little jab at a comment. Giants got to prep for rebuild, which is a shame because on the defensive side of things, they are solid.
They are. I think the young guys that we have we have an average age of 25, 26 on the defense right now. Like, we have a bunch of young kids who are ready to ball
What
out.
is the problem with line? Because you guys have been signing linemen. What the hell?
I don't know. It's you know what was crazy? Last year, the line was just bad. This year, they got good guys, but they don't run block. And we couldn't establish no run game on Sunday. I'm telling you, there was a defensive lineman in the backfield anytime a run play was called.
So this is a chance for, that defense to prove themselves against a rookie quarterback and an
It's a
offense
big week,
that,
man. It's a big
outside
week.
of
I'm not
Jaden
gonna
Daniels and
overreact
Brian
and say blow the
Robinson.
thing up. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm
I thought Brian
disappointed. I'm
Robinson had a
disgusted.
good,
So,
solid individual game.
but yeah, there's
Yeah,
there's
great.
bigger problems. There's bigger problems than the quarterback position, and Drew Lock isn't the answer. Drew Lock isn't making plays with those plays that are being. Sorry.
Well, I think Washington might have found
They
their
don't.
quarterback at least. Washington has a lot of other things they need to find, but I think they might have found their quarterback. They just went up against a good Tampa Bay team that at this point is a seasoned Tampa Bay team. Like, you've been together for a couple years now. They won that division, NFC South. So now, like, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are out there, like, they're making their push for that wild card, maybe the division. Like,
yeah,
I
thought
Cousins-
Atlanta was going to get that.
I
Division,
thought
but it could be
Atlanta was
Tampa.
going to take that division, but Kirk Cousins did not look good Sunday at all. He didn't know
all of us who invest in Atlanta Falcons players each and every season, watching
Tell
that
me
game,
about it.
and are
This year
just
I
saying to
invested on
ourselves,
two
like,
guys.
it's
I invested
happening.
heavily in Atlanta.
It's happening again. Like, it's happening again. Different quarterback.
Bijan
same
Robinson was
scenario.
the only safe bet, and he had 70 yards on the ground and like 60 yards in the air.
So what do you finish with fantasy-wise?
Like 130
12 or
yards,
13
so I
points,
say
12,
13.
13. So
Yeah.
a flex number.
Flex
flex
number.
2.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? A flex 2 number.
Kirk
potentially.
Cousins just didn't look good.
We spent the entire football game waiting for Falcons fantasy points when we drafted them. Kyle Pitts got a touchdown, though.
Oh, 19.
Take
Yeah,
that over
19
nothing.
points. Bijan.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good, though.
Yeah,
all right, that's solid.
That's RB1.
That's solid. Isn't it crazy how, like, I was saying it this year, I faded running back in the draft. I didn't start drafting running backs till like 4th, 5th, maybe 7th round. And this year, week 1, the running backs were the ones that outshined everybody. Like,
That's crazy.
you think about the running back
Yeah, no,
performances
that's true.
compared to the wide receiver performances, like, running backs were the stars.
H.A.,
of week
baby.
1. Like,
We want time to come. Yo, you're a Jets fan, bro. Get out of here.
you have Mixon, you have Kamara.
You're right, Alex. He was not pushing off that foot. So the problem is, I wouldn't have started him.
Who?
I would have started Penix, but I understand why you don't start Penix.
They're building a team for DJ replacement. He's done after this year. They're making cap space. So this is it. This is it for Daniel Jones. This weekend is going to be another shit show between two teams that are probably not going to make the playoffs, but it's one of those things where you want to see what he can do, because this right here will be like, this will show either if everything that we say to this point is true, this is truly a mess, and they're just going to have to figure out what their next step is and what they're going to do, what they're going to be, benchings, possible firings, or Washington still a year away from being anything, and potentially, the rookie having a hard time connecting with Terry McLaurin, still pissing me off. I kind of hope that changes in week 2, because that was a kind of a hurt piece. So, like, it's going to be a bad scenario for
chill,
one of those two
Alex.
football teams.
I'm not even trying to take myself there mentally, bro. I'm trying to stay positive, bro.
Giants have
I'm not trying to be down in the dumps on a Thursday night watching the Bills and Dolphins, thinking about what happens if the Giants lose this Sunday.
Giants have too much
I
pride
can't do
to
that.
tank,
I can't
I think.
do that to myself mentally.
If they're losing, it's real losses, not because they're tanking. Like,
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah,
trying to
no,
they're not
good.
trying to
Good.
tank.
Like, it's just
They're not
You're
gonna
absolutely great, Chris. One of those QBs is in Cincinnati.
What?
The famed Joe Burrow did not look good at all on Sunday.
Not at all.
Giants are who they are.
That offense didn't look physical at all. Looks like they were missing Joe Mixon.
Yeah, it really did.
I mean, he put up 150 this
And I
past
know
week.
T. Higgins didn't play. I was watching some of the
And
news
he's still
show
practicing.
with LaShawn
He didn't practice
McCoy and
today,
Emmanuel.
right?
Yeah. Higgins is most likely out again, they said. That he was trending towards being out again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy, Mike.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And Burrow, there's
Welcome, but crazy.
I don't know anybody's
that
on
first
Twitter.
round pick is now the most valuable piece to that trade. It's not Kelsey because it's not Addison. He can't even get on the field, and Higgins can't get on the field.
I know. It's great.
Like
It's great.
Blonde Burrow dyed
The Giants
his hair
are
like
who they
Eminem
are, and the
and played
Eagles
like
are a
Mom
facade,
Spaghetti.
my boy.
Blonde, the curse for him. Well,
the
here's
spaghetti
the
with
problem.
the chili in it, right? That's what they do in Cincinnati. The chili,
Yeah.
chili spaghetti.
The problem with Burrow is I don't know if anybody's seen the video circulating
Not healthy.
Oh man, that's
with his
crazy.
wrist, and he couldn't even
He
grab.
downplayed it today, though.
He couldn't even grab a
always downplays
Gatorade bottle.
He always downplays.
I don't think Joe Burrow's overrated because I do think he's
A
talented.
lot of people are starting to go that route, and they're
I
starting to
don't
say
think he's
that
we
overrated,
keep-
man. I think he's
took his team
talented.
to a Super Bowl.
that's what
Yeah.
everybody keeps saying, that we're giving him passes.
With the shitty
'cause he took
O-line.
them
too.
Not just that he took his team to the Super Bowl. Guess what? He's 5-1 against Patrick Mahomes, including an AFC Championship game in Kansas City.
Yeah.
What AFC team can say
We've
that? Right
seen
now?
him win
None.
big games. Overrated guys are people
None.
who do well in the regular
Yeah.
season and then choke in the
He ain't
playoffs. And I
overrated.
could think of a guy who just got paid $60 million to do that.
Yeah, he's not.
I could think of a guy.
He,
Yeah. And his first name has 3 letters in it. Yeah.
Joey B beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Nobody else can say that at this point in time.
You're right, but
his
at
prime.
the moment, he does not look
He's
good.
just not healthy, and that's the story of his career to this point. His
Yeah, I
health,
mean, that's his problem.
his health has been
That's
the
his
main
problem.
You know,
issue
he's
to this
gotten
time.
and he started
Thank you,
slow
Chris.
every year
Thank
for the
you.
last couple of years.
Dak cough back. Eagles haters gonna learn soon enough. I was at the game. Tommy Cutler chant started mid-second quarter. Oh my god!
With the
You would have
Burrow,
any
that
quarterback
crowd had
that
to be
could.
crazy.
We could have had
Like,
any
imagine
quarterback
sitting
on
out
that
there
team.
with
You
the-
would have
with
heard
the
those.
fan base.
you know, he threw the ball like almost 40 times and only averaged like 4 yards a pass.
Patriots.
That's crazy.
Patriots had them blocked down.
And they said
like,
it's not the first time it's happened. Last year they were 5-5 before he got hurt.
are the Patriots good or are the Bengals that bad? That's the perfect matchup to ask that
We're
question.
gonna find out. This
What
week.
are those
We
two
should.
teams?
We're gonna find out this.
You know,
Because who did the Patriots got this?
They
year?
just got Seattle.
So that's
Seattle?
that's
That's
That's a
It's
running
not easy.
matchup.
it's not easy, but it's not like a heavy.
However-
like, you know, it's
Kenny Walker did not practice.
But they
today,
shouldn't beat.
gentlemen.
If they're bad, they shouldn't beat them.
going into this week. We
Like
consider the
Seattle
Bengals
should
better
beat
than
them,
the
right?
Seahawks.
Seattle should beat the Patriots.
I don't
right?
know now. I don't know
I think
don't
we
know.
should. I think we kind of do know.
because would we think Seattle's
Because
better
I'm
than
saying I don't
Cincinnati?
know. I think it's a week 1 overreaction.
Seattle is
I
not
like
better
the
than
Patriots
Cincinnati.
money line. I kind of like it. I kind of like.
I mean, for
Patriots
betting
money line.
purposes, yeah, I know. I take the Patriots
But
money
it's
line.
what,
That's
like
where the money's
after
at.
like, what can we take from? Like Bengals versus Patriots, the biggest thing I can take from that is that Joe Burrow's not healthy, and then everything else I don't know what to do with. Maybe the Patriots aren't that bad. You know,
I mean, they've always had good defenses.
They have,
And
but the
they're
problem
going from-
is
they look good this year too.
Ramondre Stevenson is
Ooh,
a bulldog.
another running back.
Yeah.
Another running back that came out week 1 and said, "Yo,
And
we're
again,
back."
He is
Jacoby
I am
Brissett
him.
did what he needed to do. He managed the game,
Andre.
and they won the game.
Yeah.
We might.
That
be-
is a big win
All
in the
they-
AFC.
all the
Yeah.
Patriots
That
want to do.
also
Especially in that
hurts.
division.
If
The
you
Jets were the
think-
only team that lost in that division or something.
This also hurts Cincy to a point because now you got an AFC loss that can
Wild card.
hinder you
Right.
down
with
the
seeding.
stretch.
I had them going 8-9. Remember that? They're my boys.
You did.
But I have them
But
going
if I'm
8-9.
gonna defend Joe Burrow and the Bengals, then losing this game and saying what you're saying as far as hindering down the road, like I get the
And
crappy part of that, but at the same time, I think they're a team who should be able to overcome something like that.
And
So you saw what
if
Jamar,
I'm saying who
you
they
saw
are.
what Jamar Chase said in the post game presser. It's like ask Zach Taylor. It was like that's Zach Taylor's call. And they were
Yeah,
asking him about
yeah.
why you only got so many targets.
Yeah, you gotta ask
How long
let's-
before Zach Taylor's under the microscope for not?
I
being
said
able
he's
to,
a
like,
horrible coach
like-
for a long time.
Yeah, I don't
We're
think
talking
he's a
about
great coach.
passes, right? Like,
I think he
him
gets
and
by.
Sirianni are the same guy to me.
whew, he's an example of what happens when you lose good coordinators. Maybe you know.
Yeah, you know
Like-
what?
You
yeah.
can definitely tell the
Jones looks
offense
like
is
Jones
missing
rather
Callahan.
had-
I mean, our offense wasn't that much better, to be honest.
But you
we
don't
ran the
got
ball well.
you don't got T. Higgins on your team. You don't
No.
got Jamar Chase. You don't got Joe Burrow on your team.
Our quarterback was just giving the game away.
Zach Taylor's an offensive mind guy, and they looked brutal against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Brutal. And guess what? It doesn't get any better for the Bengals this Sunday. when they go to Kansas City. And we go back and we talk about the history. He's 5-1 against Pat Mahomes. But guess what? This Bengals team,
I thought
without
Jermaine
T.
Burton was
Higgins,
gonna
Not because of him, Alex. He doesn't have the highest win total because of him. Don't act like that.
I thought Jermaine
He
Burton
is not
was
the
gonna play a
reason
little
why
more
you
this
guys
week.
have a high win percentage.
he's a
since he's been
product.
there.
Listen,
Yeah,
if Doug
product
Peterson
of
was
the
there,
coordinators.
Doug Peterson would have beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
Bill QB looked great week 1 outside of a handful of them. Literally just a handful. Like it was an ugly week of football for sure.
Sirianni was handed a Ferrari. Handed the keys to Ferrari, and he's about to
Sirianni's a clown. That's what it means. Nick Sirianni's not a good coach.
Oh, highest win percentage.
He's not
because
calling the
they had a
plays
great
on
record
offense.
last
He's not
year,
calling plays
right?
on defense.
Or what was the record last year? 13 and something.
Something like that.
So that's why his
They-
win percentage is the highest in the NFL.
they were
He's played
10-1.
2 seasons.
I mean, they're listen.
No,
they're a
no,
good
they
team.
was
were
9-8
13.
his
No,
first year.
The Super Bowl year they were 13 or 12 and something. I'm sorry. Last year was when they were 10-1 and fell apart.
Yeah,
Right.
he's 9-8. He's made the playoffs every year he's been there. I'll give him that, but it's the players. Like, I feel like the players overperform. He's not an XO guy.
No, he's not a good coach.
He was
period.
about. Listen, if
He-
Sirianni
again, the
is
Eagles-
such a great coach, why was he on the chopping block almost? And at the last minute, Howie Roseman changed his mind.
Well, he's a great example to compare to
'Cause
Zach
he's a
Taylor.
good man, and they do what he says pretty much.
He's a great example to compare to Zach Taylor. The thing is, like, Sirianni can get his talent further than Zach Taylor can get his talent because
They
there's a
fight
shit
for
ton
him.
of talent.
Your
No.
quarterback last year didn't even want to talk to him.
Right,
Yeah, I don't
Did
know.
Right.
we forget that?
right.
They don't fight for him.
Come on,
Mike
bro.
Tomlin is amazing, so don't come at Tomlin, Terrell. Don't come at Tomlin.
Tomlin doesn't call in.
Tomlin has hardware that Nick Sirianni doesn't.
Yeah.
Never will.
Those are the completely
So
different
don't
coaches.
ever,
You can't
ever
even
put him
lump
in
them
the
in
same
together.
breath as Nick
You can't
Sirianni.
even lump them together.
I mean, they like Sirianni now, but Philly fans
Fake
will turn on
news.
you. Like, Philly fans will turn on you.
Sirianni
and
needs
do
to
it
grow
for him.
now.
Jam didn't look great, but he started bad and he played better. Sirianni
I'm not
just
talking
doing
to
the
you,
game
Siri.
Look, that's the Eagles fan
kind of
saying that.
placeholder for now. And that's the Eagles fan telling you what Sirianni is. Sirianni needs to grow. Another Eagles fan. I like to have Tomlin as a coach for my Birds.
Anybody would like to have Tomlin as a coach in their
Chill.
team. Any one of the other 31 NFL teams would take Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat. That's not even up for debate. It's literally not even up for
You
debate.
think Bill Belichick is the head coach of the New York Giants? I know this is way out of blue.
So that's the discussion actually that's being held on New York radio.
A rumor
as we
mill.
speak. That if Dayball doesn't survive the year, will Bill Belichick be the head coach of the New York Giants?
You think he'll want
He
to
said he wants to coach.
He
Yeah.
loves the New York Giants.
He does.
Bill
And
Belichick
it's an
loves the
important
New
part
York
of-
Giants.
Like,
It's it's really where he got like his big break and shit like that, and
For it all.
he just reveres like him and Mara have a great relationship with each other. So
you know who doesn't have a great relationship with Mara? Your GM right now. Because he was sitting in the big chair telling Mara what it was, that
Yo.
the Eagles were out and the Bears just upped the ante.
But you know why? But you know what? That's why I don't compare him to Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones wouldn't let that go down like that, right?
Nah.
Jerry
Exactly.
Jones would not let
If Jerry Jones
he would
wanted a
not have
guy,
let
he'd
that-
pay him $60 million like we seen him do.
Yeah.
So Mara is doing his job
Mara
and
just
saying,
left
like,
the
this is
room.
why I hired you.
Yeah.
Go
Take
ahead
care
and
of
just
this.
do your
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
But that's the thing with Jerry. Jerry doesn't allow his coaches to do their job. Mara gives you the floor
yeah.
to be able to do your job.
If you're gonna fuck it up, you're gonna
And
fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? And as a fan, I still,
Mike
I
Tomlin
said it
does
on
the
this
same
cast just
thing.
tonight. I believe in
Mike
these
Tomlin
guys.
hasn't had he lost his Hall of Fame quarterback.
I'm gonna say Sirianni trash.
What are we
He
talking
doesn't
about?
Plays, but Tomlin does.
I
the
can
same
tell you
thing.
this: Mike Tomlin on the Eagles, they won a Super Bowl. This
Mike
year.
Tomlin's not the GOAT coach.
I didn't say he was
No,
GOAT.
I didn't say
He's
he's
not the
going,
GOAT.
but he's definitely better than Sirianni.
He's better than Sirianni.
I mean, I don't even know why this is
Yeah.
even an actual argument, bro. Come on,
It's Eagles fans want to argue.
that's so crazy. It's so crazy to think that
Ultimate heel move.
Sirianni is a better coach than Mike Tomlin. That's the discussion you want to have
No,
tonight.
that's
That's crazy.
Mary would have paid him. They convinced him otherwise.
Yeah, that's because Merritt thinks about
I
his
think-
emotions and he thinks about jersey sales. He thinks about the revenue.
Bro,
That's not
revenue's
that's
a big
stupid
part.
statement. It's a stupid
Revenue
statement.
has always been a big part. The Giants are always going to make money.
it's always
They
The
are.
Giants are always going to make
They're a
money.
New York franchise. They're always going to make money.
They're always gonna make
They're always going to make money. Regardless of who's throwing the ball,
Which is-
regardless of who's running the ball, that team is always going to make money. That's neither here nor there.
He's by his own front
So,
office.
and to say something that Merritt would have paid him after the conviction, of course he would have. Look at him. Of course he would have, bro. That's not the point. The point is that he's letting them do their job.
How much time do we have before this all blows up in New York?
It
What is
already
it?
Just
did.
the year. Just this year.
This year.
Just
Yeah.
this year.
Okay.
Just this year.
Get everybody out of the building.
That's all right,
Because
so-
this shit is
hey.
about to get
Just
crazy.
this year. I don't.
Merrill's going to be throwing chairs in the press
Yeah,
box
I
again
don't.
soon enough.
If we end up with the number one pick, I find it hard to believe that they keep Shane and Dable around. I really do. Unless they really believe in these guys and they're going to let them draft a quarterback and let them see what they do with them, because nobody believed in Josh Allen when he went to Buffalo, and Dable turned him into what he is today. So unless that's the plan going forward, that they're going to go and let Dable just groom his own guy from the beginning, like they probably should have did 3 years ago.
I got another game here. Do the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Cleveland Browns this Sunday?
The Jags beating the Browns?
I think so. Whoever loses this game,
why would the Browns think about winning games? Their offense cannot move the ball. Nick Chubb won't be back till week 6 or 7. Like
But is Chubb even going to be effective?
Probably not, because they're going to be so bad at that point.
I think so, because the Jags offense looked better than the Cleveland offense.
Yeah.
So you need points to win. But also it's the Jags. I just know that whoever goes 0-2 after this, hang it up. Like, this is it for you.
That's how
pretty
I
much.
mean. Like
this is
whoever goes
the wild
0-2
card
here, are we going to ring the bell on because we don't think they can pull it together?
whoever goes 0-2 is not going to be able to fix their problems, basically. Like, they are that. They are what we see. It could be Browns winning by a close game and Jaguars losing another close game, but they continue to do that. Or it can be the Browns going out there looking like the worst offense in football, and you say to yourself, like, wow, this is a pretty expensive team that is going to end up 6-11.
Can you guys see Stefanski benching Deshaun Watson if need be?
For Thompson, for Dorian Thompson?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Jameis Winston?
spicy.
I can't.
I don't know.
I guarantee
know.
no money.
He's getting paid so much
They're
money.
in the same situation as you guys are.
If anything, Nick needs to
They're
go from guys
paying
like
a guy X amount of
Yeah,
dollars.
but why is it okay to say that it's so easy to sit Daniel Jones and not see?
Well, no, they should sit Watson. They absolutely should.
Okay.
What has Deshaun Watson done in 3 years since joining that team?
Not nothing.
Called his
Literally
DC a
nothing.
dingbat.
I'm
not saying-
You know, he was even kind of throwing his team under the bus at times in his press conference, Watson.
Lawrence
Talking
ain't
about
doing
protection.
that. Lawrence ain't doing that. I mean, Lawrence is like a better person, I think, than Deshaun Watson. He's a good kid. You know, it's just a situation where Jacksonville, I really feel like that window closed for them. Like, Houston was able to build a
If
more
they minimize,
a stronger unit than they were able to build in the time that
I
they
like
had.
both head coaches, and I think both head coaches have the capability to kind of like pull these guys together if they both go 0-2, or if one of them goes 0-2 to kind of make us.
I'm taking Dougie B.
But
and it's not because I hate Cleveland. It's
You sure?
just
yeah, I
It's
think
not,
it
it's not the
is,
Cleveland hate.
because the only
Plus
reason why I
Deshaun
want to say
Watson.
Cleveland is that the defense is better.
Deshaun Watson.
It's hard to blame.
He's
him.
gotta
but they
move
have
the ball,
no
bro.
defense in Jacksonville.
He's got to move the
I
ball.
can't blame Stefanski, because I saw Stefanski with Joe Flacco make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, if your
That's
quarterback
what
can
I'm
at
saying.
least give you something,
That's kind of
he
my
can
point
do
there.
his job.
They might be able to,
Like-
bench Deshaun and figure it out.
Watson is terrible.
I'm
There's
calling
no
two
denying that.
ridiculous interceptions by Watson that's going to make this even get hotter and heavier in Cleveland.
That,
Because, like, Stefanski can't do nothing about
yeah,
that.
I can see. To
No,
kind of
Ste-
answer your question from earlier, I can see the Jacksonville.
Stefanski is in
Terrell
the
thinks they're a
headset.
nice streaming option against the Browns.
Stefanski is in the headset right now saying, run the ball. Like, Stefanski does not want Watson throwing 40 times.
And that proves how bad Watson and the Browns are offensively right now. Because again,
Jags is a good schemer.
I don't think the Jags defense is good, but
They're
against
not.
a team
They
or and
can have a
players
good
like
week.
yes,
Bro,
they can have
Watson
a good
completed a
week.
pass to CeeDee Lamb on the sideline last week.
Yeah.
We just watched the Jaguars defense get burned by the Dolphins, but this is
But-
a different level of
but-
competition with the
Right.
Browns.
They did keep that Miami offense
Oh,
to 20 points.
Yeah, no, they did.
That's a high octane offense.
Maybe they are good. You know, it's week 1. Like, it's just,
yeah.
we got to take all this and
you
just
got to look at that too,
baked
because
into the.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle did have over 100 yards apiece, but they only scored 20
We expect
points.
the Dolphins to score more
I
points.
expected that game to be like a 34-14 type Miami game.
Jaguars
It
scored
wasn't.
17.
They were
Can
winning.
the Browns score 17.
They were winning. They were beating Miami. Miami had to come from behind to win.
Right.
If they minimize Myles Garrett, this could be a long day.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That should be an interesting game, honestly.
Yeah. I think
the QB of the Browns.
Jags can be like a top 5 streaming option this week.
Seriously.
We'll be able to
Tyreek was
see
suffering
like
from police brutality.
he got a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
The ball's 20 yards.
And then his
over the
touchdown
side.
celebration was him getting arrested.
Yeah. That was good.
That was quarterback on the Browns. I watched him sail deep passes 50 feet over people's heads. He ain't right. I don't think that Stefanski's job is in jeopardy, though. I think because of what he proved last year without Watson. Man. They made the playoffs with 40-year-old Flacco, bro. Yeah. They're winning football games, giving people trouble.
Maybe Jameis Winston's the better option right now.
I think he
does. Kevin Stefanski have the balls to look the owner in the face?
I think he does.
And say, I'm benching this guy or fire him.
Because that's why I picked Cleveland over the Jags as far as being able to.
If Watson stinks up the game again, you got to really think about a quarterback change.
I agree.
Because before he got hurt last year, he wasn't looking good either.
You had the number one defense last year, and all those guys pretty much came back. There's no reason why you can't, do it again.
Yes, I did see that clip where the offensive lineman was on the floor. Watson went to give him a hand to get up, and he smacked Watson's hand out of the way.
Oh, shit. I did not see that.
The team.
That's big.
When your line stops to believe in you, that's it.
That's big. That's big.
They're watching Baker Mayfield ball out.
Yeah.
They played hard for Flacco.
Some of those guys didn't want Baker to leave.
Yeah, no, a lot of those guys love Baker.
They could end up playing hard for Winston if he ends up taking over. And then what does that do for Amari Cooper? All of a sudden, Amari Cooper is back.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because we all know that Jameis will sling that thing.
Yes.
He will throw the ball up and down the field. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You know what that is right there, baby? That's a win.
I don't know. Nobody was saying anything when he was doing that. Everyone was looking at him. He probably threw like 3 picks in that game.
Yeah, there was a burner account supposedly of Watson defending his play.
No way.
I gotta find the clip.
No,
I'll share it on the
I
forum
didn't see
later.
that.
You can't defend another bad loss like that this week, though, with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And then there's a lot of teams.
I hate the Jaguars, but I hate the Browns' offense and the way they looked. So I feel like the Jaguars, in my mind, are the favorite going into this game. There could be some points. This could be the week that the Browns. You can't do any worse than 3 points, right? Maybe they score more than 3 points. Yeah. Maybe they get a couple touchdowns on the board, and we get 24-17.
Terrell Suggs on the bench until further notice.
I get it. Like how many weeks are you supposed to put yourself through that?
Yeah, no, that's tough.
Sitting there on Sunday, it's 2 minutes.
Ford only looked good on the stat line because that bullshit touchdown at the end.
All the Ford
the garbage time. I was okay with it.
All the Ford
giving me almost 20 points.
Yeah, but I am gonna. I'm gonna bench him this week.
In favor of who?
Brian Robinson.
That's not a
J.K. Dobbins still. It's the Kingpin.
J.K.
Just sneeze Dobbins, baby.
J.K. Dobbins. That man.
How do we feel about
the He was like, no wonder why Brown left twice.
I know Malik Willis is starting, but both teams are 0-1. Both teams need a win.
We're expecting Malik Willis to be bad again, right? Yeah. We're expecting the wide receivers to not be able to do anything for the Packers. We're expecting Jaden Reed to not be special.
Is LaFleur a good enough coordinator to maybe make him?
So how do they make this work against a team who needs a win as well in the Colts?
And a team that knows Willis.
Who just had a division loss to the Texans last week, where Anthony Richardson was out there slinging it to nobodies, making them look good. Is the Packers defense ready for that test? Because they failed the A.J. Brown test last week.
Most defenses fail the A.J. Brown test. There's not many defenses that can contain A.J. Brown.
Now maybe they'll have a better time containing the wide receivers of the Colts.
Yeah, they have good weapons. They better score. You have weapons on that team. You better score points.
We saw that the Colts can.
Because once you start having games where it's
what up, Jason?
Not enough points. It's
going on, Jay.
It's going to be a lot of shit.
JT had a touchdown for them. They had 2 of their wide receivers score touchdowns. Yep. A-Rich he gave me in one league 44 fantasy points. I believe that was in Noli's league.
What, 20 points?
44 he gave me.
Jonathan Taylor?
No, Anthony Richardson.
Oh, okay.
Richardson went off this past week.
Yeah, what did he give Matthew in Elite 8? Or no, what do you have?
Something maybe? I have Richardson. Richardson gave me 55.
55. I think it's sick pick.
Yeah. So he's out there doing this with just random ass wide receivers. He's not even using his wide receiver 1 option, it scares me a little bit because it's another one of those things where you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, a way better arm. He has a cannon for an arm, but like the wide receiver that you think is supposed to be getting all the targets is barely getting fed. Like the quarterback is racking up the stats, but it's not flowing over to the number one primary pass catcher.
Right.
So it's like for those of us who have McLaurin and have Michael Pittman, it makes you a little nervous. Like,
yeah, but our league is mad skewed. Well, when you're talking
Superflex,
Superflex,
he gave me like 55 or something like that.
What are you
too.
talking about? Because of the fantasy points or because of the bonus points? I mean,
I had two 40-plus yard touchdown bomb bonuses for Anthony Richardson. But also, my entire team in that league did great. That was like my second highest scoring fantasy team. I had all the Matt Stafford, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, the old guard. My wide receivers did nothing. I think Devontae Smith gave me like 15 points. Roma Dunze did nothing. Zamir White did nothing. Harrison Jr.
Yeah, you get all the bonuses, bro.
We haven't talked about Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, watching clips where he's actually getting open, and Murray just, I guess,
he was wide open for a big play.
Yeah, he didn't see him. I mean, it's a 40-yard touchdown. Bro.
Murray started out high, and then it's like I didn't get the production that I thought I was going to get from him because of how the stuff went.
Yeah, but it's still week one, man. It's still week one, and I think we just got to fire some of these guys up again. I really do.
Fire up. I mean, Marvin Harrison, for where you drafted him, you can't just sit on Marvin Harrison. What better options do you have than Marvin
Imagine drafting Caleb Williams with their first pick and having him on the bench this week. Because I know that. I know a guy. I know a guy.
And he's playing Sunday night against the Houston Texans. Like, what confidence do you have in Caleb Williams? Their defense won that game.
Oh, somebody did ask him. I just got a notification on my phone about Burrow, and like with the water. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I picked it up weird. Like completely dodged it. But you're not talking about going like this.
Bengals are very defensive in interviews this year. That's always a sign that things are not.
Yeah, bro. I don't get it. I don't know how they didn't have like plays ready for him. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was something against the rookie wide receivers this week because the same thing. I said the same thing about the Giants. Like you spend these draft picks on these guys, and you don't even get them involved early in the game. Like what the hell's going on, man? I will be benching Chris Olave this week. Not even because Derek Carr is a fuck.
I'm looking for every reason to bench Olave, bro. There's one league I don't think I can bench him in. I'm going to have to play him and just live with the results. And the rest of them, I'm going to live with the results on the bench because I don't think I can do it.
Dennis Allen.
Like, you got 3 fantasy points in a game where your football team scored 47 points against the opponent. You're not the primary pass catcher. You are, but you're not.
Right. Like,
none of this is flowing your way. Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin,
Michael Pittman.
Zay Flowers, right?
Tank Dell. Well, Tank Dell's going to be
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, I got Stephon Diggs in East Coast, man. I got Diggs in a couple of places.
Nico Collins did good.
Yeah, Nico Collins had a good game too. But again, Nico Collins is the number one wide receiver. Stephon Diggs is there to complement Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
Or lie about not getting usage.
Diggs was on the sideline snapping again this week. He was on the sideline snapping. You didn't see it?
Nah, what he's snapping
He was just standing up, doing his moving his arms and shit. Just
damn, like 2 touchdowns. Like what the hell?
I don't know when exactly that was in the game. I just know that I got the because I got Bills fans in one of my group chats. And
he's been on my taxi for 2 years now, and I just stared at them points all night long after I lost.
Rashid Shaheed, man.
That's crazy.
Oof. He checked in early in that football game.
I'm starting Keon Pickens over him. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Detroit, Tampa.
Keon Palmer.
Detroit, Tampa should be fun. That should be a fun game.
Fantasy warfare.
I would hope that game goes over 50 points.
A little playoff
rematch.
I don't know. I think Tampa might catch these boys slipping. Tampa might start 2-0.
I need Amon-Ra to give me points.
He can. He still can. This could be the fantasy bowl of the week with these two football teams.
That's what I'm praying for.
I think this is going to be.
I got lit it up last week.
This will preoccupy, especially since Pittsburgh's not playing at 1:00 Sunday.
Oh, you got the West Coast. Oh, that's right. It's cool, but sometimes you kind of wish you were playing at 1.
I do. I hate late games now that I'm older.
I got tired.
I don't like it.
tired of 6:30.
It sucks not being able to stay up for the 9 o'clock games, like the night games.
Oh, I go to bed at halftime because I gotta
yeah,
work.
same, man.
Gotta
That's
be
right,
up
to
at
put up
5:30.
numbers.
Especially if I got to be in North Jersey, I don't even make it past the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was awful. But that's a credit to the Rams and what they were doing to keep him out of the game plan. Like they took Amon-Ra St. Brown off the board and forced the Lions to beat them with everybody else. The Lions did because
they did.
David
Montgomery,
Montgomery,
Montgomery scored
Jameson Williams.
touchdown. Jameson Williams had a big game.
So
8 receptions for 110 yards, I think it was. So
if you're invested in the Lions, you're happy. If you're just invested in St. Brown, you're kind of pissed, but you're knowing that this is
I got Goff. Wherever I have St. Brown, I pretty much have Goff. And there's a couple of leagues where I actually have Goff, Gibbs, and St. Brown. So I wasn't happy, but at the same time I was. Like Gibbs did his thing, but Goff only gave me 18 points, and I feel like he can do better.
It was a defensive struggle for a bit. You weren't getting the
and then obviously, we all know that Amon-Ra did what he did with the 4 points. But
Hey, if you pick Jameson Williams, you should be happy.
like did the Rams?
Yeah, but nobody started him this week.
Laporta ain't do shit for him.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Did the Rams accidentally put out like a blueprint as far as how to play the Lions? Like, can the Lions beat teams without Amon-Ra St. Brown every week? Like,
I don't want to say it's necessarily a blueprint because Amon-Ra is going to get the ball. Amon-Ra is going to get anywhere from 140 to 160 targets this year alone. So he's going to get the ball. They just got to double him and shit like that. And
you got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Mike Evans on either side this week.
It's going to be crazy.
It's points,
dude.
dog.
It's going to be crazy. It should. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
You should. If you have fantasy viable players in that game,
you started Jameson Williams. What team was this? How bad is your wide receivers that you have to start Jameson Williams?
Chris, that's spicy as hell.
On a week 1, that's crazy.
Salute to you, bro, because that's spicy as hell. That's super spicy.
I know. I love freaking
Jameson Williams here didn't get drafted or was going with some of the last picks in most drafts.
J-Mo was on the wire.
So why you would start Jameson Williams is beyond me. I don't know.
Was on the wire.
I don't know what. Let me know who your guy is because that's kind of crazy.
The blueprint is have Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, 14 targets.
38 fantasy points. Big.
38 fantasy points, 14 targets. And everybody who was worried about Kyron Williams, you should have been worried about Blake Corum because Corum has got to deal with Ronnie Rivers apparently.
When I heard his name, I said Ronnie Rivers.
And my dad's
like, who's Ronnie Rivers? I was like, some guy nobody knows.
I'm looking at number 20 and I see Rivers on the back. I was like, there's no way he's out there. Where the hell's Blake?
Crazy.
Where the hell is Mr. Average 1.8 touchdowns per game? Going crazy out there with with Michigan.
Right.
Like, what are we doing out here? And Kyron Williams is getting the touches that Kyron Williams is deserving, and that's what it's going to be. You don't have to worry. The kick returns, nobody's worried about that anymore. Right. I'm more worried about who the backup of the RB2 is on that team because apparently it's not Blake Corum right now. And,
that's crazy, bro. That's so crazy.
Me seeing that in Dynasty where I have him and I have Chase Brown, I went.
Williams started over T. Higgins. Okay. See, situations. So that's a situational thing. You didn't start Jameson Williams because you knew he was going to go off. That's a situational thing.
Shaheed has always been me and Terrell's boy. Rashid Shaheed. There's been trades of Rashid Shaheed back and forth over the years, and one of us picking him up in one league. I picked up Rashid Shaheed in the On the Money Sports League. Just trying to figure out because my as of right now, my wide receiver 1 and 2 is Mike Evans and Chris Olave, and I don't like how that feels. I need to find something spicy to do at wide receiver 2 because now Chris Olave is going up against a better defense, better corners. He wasn't getting the ball last week in a good game. So now negative game script, like what's supposed to happen here?
Right.
Kamara's going to get the work.
Yeah.
And they're not going to
say he's going to get the work regardless.
And they're not going to
up or down. He's going to get the work.
Dallas is going to demolish them, I think.
Who?
The Saints. I think Dallas is going to smoke them.
As long as Kamara gets his points, man, I don't give a shit what happens.
You're right. Give me another 20. 20 to 23 points.
20 to 25. 20 to 25.
And we're good. Yeah, but I think Kamara is going to be able to have that safe floor each and every week. Like,
I think that's always there for him.
We've realized that there's other fantasy players that we need to be more worried about than Alvin Kamara right now.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
Kamara's good.
James Conner, fire him up. Got to fire up James Conner every week, I think, right now until he proves otherwise. James Conner had a great
Imagine if you drafted Kamara, Conner, and Mixon right now.
I drafted Kamara, Conner, and Brian Robinson everywhere.
Oh, here we go.
That's nice. That's this finished week 1. How you feeling about that bet? It's week 1, man. It's week 1.
What was
It's
that
week
bet?
1.
I forget what was the bet.
Levis,
who
Jones,
has more
total
wins?
touchdowns?
No.
Oh.
It's wins. Wins between the Titans and the Eagles.
And
Since I have us both pegged at like 9 and 8, I'm not worried right now. I need my quarterback to just breathe and not cost us games like he did, because after week 1, we are the number 1 ranked defense in football. We only allowed 150 yards total.
that's crazy.
And so
then again, it was Caleb Williams, so it's not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean the defense didn't like it was all everything was special.
Right now,
teams.
J.K. Dobbins is ranked 5 in fantasy. We know that's not going to last.
I don't know, it might, especially after this week.
See,
with
that's,
the
a week,
Panthers.
that's a week 1 overreaction, bro.
If he scores 2 touchdowns against the Panthers, he's staying in the top 5, dog.
I mean, yeah, this week, but it won't last. Brian Robinson was top 5 all year last year up until week 12, and then he ended up being like fucking RB 15 or something like
We're
that.
seeing like a running back renaissance this year.
Yeah.
Week 1 showed us like shit. Yeah. I think that we just it's gonna sound cliche, but we need to be better than we were last week. There was things that I liked. I really love our defense.
Yeah,
I really
that's
love
how
our
I'm
defense.
coming into this week.
And
so
also,
we're in the same boat, buddy.
Tony Pollard was serviceable for people who started him. If you had
Yes, he
the,
was.
you
How many
know,
points did he have?
well, like 16, 15, 16,
wow.
a tutty.
How about Spears? What did he do?
Not that good. It wasn't his week. It wasn't his week. It was not his week.
That's what's interesting.
He started
about
to
that
have
too,
a
though.
couple.
He got looks, but the primary guy was Pollard, and I feel good about the matchup this week because the Jets just allowed like 140 rushing yards to the 49ers. No, more than that, because James Mason by himself got like 147. So I'm feeling good about our running attack. I'd feel good if we run the football, don't turn it over, and play defense. It's 3 fundamentals that always work for us.
The
those things,
fundamentals.
and we can beat the Jets. And all of a sudden, you go from 0-1 to 1-1 because the Jets didn't look much better than us. You know,
You're right.
realistically, they got ran all over. Nobody ran on us. The Bears defense ran all over us.
It was
The
the
Bears
Bears,
defense,
though.
Bears
won the
defense
game,
is
bro.
really good.
Yeah, I mean the Bears offense
Caleb
was
Williams
trash.
did nothing but a couple throws here and a couple scrambles there.
Bears
offense is
defense
trash.
could low-key actually be a great play for Sunday Night Football. I think that Bears defense
they
is
play?
actually just good. They got Houston.
No, that's not a great play. It's not a great play, bro.
How's it going?
I
That is not a great play.
Mr.
don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I know you guys are really hyped on
No,
Houston. I get it.
no.
You know, they're cool.
No, Mr. Griffin.
They almost lost to the Colts.
The Bears defense played Will Levis, and the Bears offense is trash. That's what happened.
I don't know. I think the Bears defense is good, man. You got to make plays.
No.
They're solid.
They're not.
Man, you can't hate on them, bro. Like, what if they go out there and look?
It's pure facts. They're
It's
trash.
It's not. Houston's defense is no better. They were getting torched the whole
Houston's
game.
defense is good.
No, they're not.
Houston's defense is
No,
good. Yes.
They allowed more points than the
We
Bears did.
The Colts have a more electric offense than what you guys have.
The Bears are not going to have Roma
And it's a
Dunze or
very
Keenan
divisional
Allen.
game. I expect stuff
The
like that to
Houston
happen in
defense
the
might be the
divisional
play.
Houston defense?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you're going to target Caleb Williams.
Yes.
I don't know. Both defenses, I think, are good. Fire them up. If you ain't scared, fire them up. Whoever started the Bears this week, you benefited from it because you got 2 touchdowns out of that shit. Bears defense is a top 5 defense right now.
Yeah, they are.
They're J.K. Dobbins right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they are.
like, I
Fantasy, yeah, they are.
like if I had a Bears defense, I wouldn't be trying to drop a Bears defense. I had Bengals defense, I'd drop their asses. I wouldn't be dropping a Bears defense after they just gave me, basically won me my week when a lot of other players couldn't give me 26 points. I'm just saying they could be a good streaming option. Don't be scared just because it's Houston. Because to me, Houston ain't that scared. Like Joe Mixon, if Joe Mixon isn't contributing what he's contributing, you have the 2 Diggs touchdowns.
You want to take this advice? Go right ahead.
Well, I mean, look, whoever took my advice on Mike Evans, they benefited because the man's went out there and got 2 tutties.
I mean, you did call some great props.
So, my advice ain't
Thanks
bad.
a lot, Bengals, for
It might not always be what you want to hear.
That was props, though. This is a little different.
I don't know.
It's a different avenue.
Bears defense is a prop. Start them up. I started Houston last week. Start the Chargers this week. I picked up the Chargers. I got them in 2 leagues. I'm not trying to start one defense everywhere. I learned from my mistakes.
Not against the Colts.
I wouldn't have started Houston either. I dropped them because they were playing the Colts. Because the Colts are just a wild card. Like, that's literally what they are.
Yeah, you do start the Chargers this week, but I got the Steelers everywhere, so I'm firing them up.
Everybody has the Steelers. They're not like They're not this type of defense you're going to see sitting on waivers when you're trying to look. When you're looking to play a matchup, it's like you drafted the Steelers defense. Like it's not something that they were sitting out there.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to drop the Steelers defense this morning. Like, I just couldn't do it.
You got a team like the Seattle Seahawks. Their defense gave me like 13 last week. A defense that's going up
Just
against
solid.
the Patriots. That's another potential option. that
Somebody
you can look
just
at.
traded Evans for Dak in League of Boom. Damn.
They traded away Evans to receive Dak Prescott. It's a 2-quarterback league, though, right? So they might have needed a quarterback potentially.
I stream defenses. That's why I never go crazy in drafts taking defenses in round 10.
Yeah, I'll wait till the end.
No, even in your league, bro. I
Wait till the end.
think I have Pittsburgh defense in your league, and I took them like one of my last picks.
I went Dallas in a couple leagues because I like their setup and their defense. I felt like my team was pretty much flushed out. So
Yeah, I got the Steelers D in your
Dallas.
league, and I'm pretty sure I took them like I didn't take my defensive kicker until the last 2 rounds in your league.
Yeah. Start Dallas for success. And I mean, speaking of starts of the week, last week I said it was Mike Evans. He came through this week. It's crazy, but my start of the week is going to be a defense, and it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys because I think that defense is going to score a touchdown. They're going up against a terrible offense, a terrible team.
Well, not
went
only
up
that,
against a more
though,
terrible team.
I think they have one of the better kick returners in football.
Yeah,
They have one of the
Remember,
better
special
kick
teams
returners.
count.
So specials teams, that makes a difference.
A kicker that's banging 60-yarders. If one of their drives step falls short. A CeeDee Lamb who has yet to check in for a touchdown.
Dallas defense also gave you a punt return touchdown last week.
Yes, they did. Dallas defense did score for me big time. That's why I drafted him.
Y'all, there's a couple of guys. I think it's like Harris or something like that takes defenses early in your league. He always kills me with that shit.
My start of the week is the Bears. I don't have the Bears. If I could find the Bears somewhere, I'll start them I'll do it. If I could find them,
I'll do it.
I have.
But you can find them. Who the fuck has the Bears?
The
Bears is not being rostered in 90% of leagues right now.
The bigger question, minus the studs tomorrow.
I'll start them over the Browns.
What player do you have tomorrow night that you're going to start, even though it's a risky play?
Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, fire him up. He's Raheem Mostert. They're all the same person.
Well, A-Chain is a game time decision, so as
they're going to say he's not going to play. They're going to make you wait until the very.
They better not, because I got to shoot pool tomorrow. But if I'm shooting pool when they make that announcement, I'm going to be pissed.
Take him out of your starting lineup.
I did now. Yeah, I did already.
And then you plug them in because they're going to pull some shit.
Keon Coleman tomorrow night.
Keon Coleman is spicy. Keon Coleman is spicy.
Keon Coleman had 9 targets on Sunday. He didn't do anything with it, but he had the targets. The opportunities.
He had more targets than Dalton Kincaid did.
Yes.
I wish that kind of,
Yeah, the targets need to go back.
A lot of people
what
were
the
happy
hell,
about
dog? Like,
I invested in the Allen Kincaid stack in one league, but I need that. I want to win that league.
I need that. Yeah, I need that stack to work.
I need that stack to work.
I need that stack to work.
If Waddle's gonna play, I'm starting.
Waddle and A-Chain risky at this point, but you can't sit Waddle.
A-Chain because of the health.
Waddle's
kind of hurt too, but still.
A-Chain,
Should I play Kittle or Schultz? Schultz didn't practice today, so Kittle, fire him up.
Fire him up. If they tell you that A-Chain is starting, be ready for a pitch count. Because he ain't practicing. Like, he's not at practice. Raheem Mostert is not practicing.
Yeah, but fragile as they are, if they're playing, you're going to fire them up, right? Unless you think you have a better option on the bench.
If you have a better option than A-Chain, you throw him out there. Like,
yeah.
Who had the better week, A-Chain or Kelsey?
You got to ask Alex. I don't know.
I mean,
I know I'm not going to answer that question.
The Dolphins running backs are doing what they do every
rest,
year.
Bro. I know you're battling some shit right now, sick wise. Get some rest, bro.
I hope you feel better, bro. Hope to see you soon. So we can hang
keep
out.
that strep throat.
Is that what it is?
I don't need that.
Freaking I am starting Jeff Wilson. I don't have shares of Keon Coleman. I'm starting Dalton Kincaid because I need you to just that is just an anomaly last week. So
the best tight end this week was Isaiah Likely. There was no top tight end that had a good game, with the exception of Kittle, and Kittle didn't even have a great game.
The tight end market died before.
Likely's not going to do that again, bro.
No, I don't. I mean, I think we'll have good this year. Will he have a 40-point fantasy game again? No, probably not.
Him and Jordan Mason are going to give you a couple more good ones.
Yeah. He'll probably have another couple 20 games.
And
another 20
Mark
games.
Andrews got
is normally shut out by the
but that was also the game plan that week. They went in there.
They shut Mark Andrews out.
So we're shutting Mark Andrews down, and we're going to make you throw it to Flowers and Likely and the crew. And they got.
And he said, "Screw you, Flowers. I'm throwing it to Likely. I'm throwing it to Likely, and then I'm going to throw it to Aguilar.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to throw it to Rashad Bateman.
Yeah,
we're not going to give you Zay
or
Flowers.
Justice Hill. Justice Hill had like 7 targets.
I think there's a hype train around him.
too big.
personally.
Too big of a hype train.
I think there's a hype train around Justice Hill.
Now, it does scare me that he was on the field. Like, he was taking the snaps.
Did you hear what Harbaugh said? I didn't bring Derrick Henry for 30 carries a game.
I guess not.
Waddle gets hurt every game, every week. He did it this week too. He was hurt when he was on the ground. They had to go and talk to him. Suffered the season, and he comes back in the game to catch a 40-yard pass.
Called the 40-yard bomb, got himself a 100-yard game.
Yeah. If I bench Jalen Waddle, he's going to drop 50 points.
That's the
They're
problem.
in Miami.
I remember I benched him in the On the Money Sports first round of the playoffs 2 years ago. And I remember Elon going, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Bro, it's going to be cold as hell in Buffalo. Like, I don't feel." He balled out. Luckily, I had Dalvin Cook, who also balled out, so I was like,
"You were safe." Zay Flowers looked great, man. He looked great, and he had 10 targets or 12 targets, so the opportunity is going to be there for him.
That's all he was looking at.
Yeah, so at least that's what it felt like.
He gave him the Mark Andrews syndrome.
We can't trust Jalen Waddle, but we have to start Jalen.
Yeah.
When you draft him, that's
the problem with Jalen Waddle, and that's why I didn't want to draft him this year, because I didn't want to put myself through that stress.
This week,
I'll continue.
Yeah, I mean, whether you do or don't, I don't blame you for it, honestly.
This week in one league, I have, and I'm probably starting all four. It's Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk.
Jeez.
Brandon Ayuk can't be as bad as he was last week.
No.
I was rust. He didn't play all year.
Yeah.
You're getting your regular reps, your regular snaps, right? CMC's not going to be there.
I think he'll be better.
Can we get settled in a little bit? And then with Jalen Waddle and Drake London, it's just, all right, guys, come
Alex's
on.
league, I had St. Brown, Ayuk, and Cooper Kupp. Yeah. I like my receivers. And I have Michael Pittman.
My favorite receiving quartet has got to be in True Legends with it's AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Rashee
My
Rice.
True Legends team is
they're nasty.
I rostered them.
I look at it every day before I go to bed. I just stare at them and I'm like, you are the elite. I did right by you. It's like when like when you're like a wolf and you have a pack all at once and you look at your kids and you know who the runt and you know who your stronger ones are. It's like you're gonna lead the pack. And True Legends is definitely leading the pack with my boy Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels at the 1 and 2
we
spot.
play. I can't wait to play you because I know me and you have one of probably the 2 top teams right now.
Drake London, I don't believe in. Drake London scares the shit out of me, man. Like just like every other Falcon, because we play this game every year where you're waiting for fantasy Falcon points. Just waiting.
Yeah. Like so mad that I drafted Bijan and Drake back to back, bro.
You gotta get rid of them. You can't keep them. You gotta like
for what? I'm not gonna sell them for pennies on a dollar.
Get rid of them for like a Chris Olave or something. somebody who is like him, but not him. You know,
they hate us because they hate us.
They are in that tier above because that tier below is dangerous. That tier below, you start getting to those names, the others like DK Metcalf. Like there's some weeks where he's gonna disappear, and he's going up against a good defense again this week. Last week he went up against Sertain. This week he's going up against the Patriots. Like, I'm not excited to start a DK Metcalf this week. I'm not excited to start anybody on the Seahawks besides Kenneth Walker, who isn't practicing. Like, I want no parts of that mess.
Oh man, yeah, that I received today was hilarious.
Cousins is stiff still. It's ugly out there. It's really ugly out there. It's like Amon-Ra at number 2, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra was going high. Amon-Ra was going high.
I love him. I don't regret it. Even after the week 1, I don't regret it.
We all love Amon-Ra.
I don't regret that at all.
It hurt.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. I don't, you don't want your first round pick to be getting 4 points, but you also don't want your first round pick against Chris McCaffrey.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop counting fantasy points that I think players are gonna have. Everybody's at 0 until proven otherwise. You're all, no matter what. No matter where I drafted you, you're all at 0.
0 points.
Not. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Amon-Ra is going to save me.
Everybody's getting the same treatment.
Everybody. Nobody's going to save me but me. Like, we're a team,
Damn, I just had a
snap. I've told people that. And I posted the board on Facebook. So the world knows, Alex. Don't worry, Pop. I got you. I'll do it. I do you that favor. You don't have to.
I've seen worse get picked as 2nd overall. I'm not mad. Amon-Ra 2nd overall. Look, Justin Jefferson last year was getting picked 2nd overall in leagues. It's just now he's got the shine because it's situational. when we like a player's situation, we're willing to go out and get that player, especially drafting at the front end of a draft that's probably snake draft, and you're not going to get another pick for who knows how long. So you either go for Amon-Ra or you go for somebody else and know that you're going to be getting a tier 2 wide receiver to lead the charge for your football team.
Right.
Where most of these leagues are wide receiver driven, you got to take your shot at 1 or 2 and go for whoever you feel is going to be that guy.
Yep. Agreed, man. Agreed.
I can't.
I love Amon-Ra. Everybody knows it.
We know.
Look at Oscar. Oscar's over here on the waiver wire while we're doing the show.
USOB.
Hey, look, he picked up Miles Sanders.
Oh,
6 picks.
oh. That's such a great pick. That's why you're being so quiet.
Yeah. Over here making moves. Look, what are you doing in Elite 8? Let's see.
DeMarcus Robinson.
DeMarcus Robinson.
What league?
And,
Finer Things
and the
Club.
Finer Things Club. I picked up Jalen Wright over there. We're going up against True Poppy this week. I need a win.
Yeah, I slacked on Jalen Wright and
I mean,
Jeff
everybody
Wilson
did
this
apparently.
week.
While you guys were going back and forth, you and Willie in the group chat, I was in the waiver wire
I know.
picking
I
up
know.
the running backs. I
Yeah,
was like, look at these
I
guys. This is perfect.
The distracted.
Keep arguing,
Keep
guys.
arguing.
I'm over here bargain shopping.
Willie
and
beat you?
getting my bench
bastard.
right.
Yeah, bastard. And then he's I lost by
It
like
was
10 points. He's like, I
1-on-1
whooped your
pure
ass. I'm like, no, you
explosiveness.
didn't, bro.
Yeah.
Relax.
I got B this week in that league. I got
That's
Twin
enough.
and True Legends. I've got you in On the Money Sports. Got to avoid losing to you for a third league.
His team
In 2
put
weeks.
up a lot of points.
Yeah, I saw their projection this week. And then I looked at my team without Puka.
Looks
I'm like,
kinda crazy.
But that being said, I'm firing up Austin Eckler because I'm excited about him. I got the stack with Eckler and Jaden Daniels. And we're going to see what we do, man. And I'm going to kick it off. It's going to be
Light a candle someday, my man.
It's going to be
Light a
Josh
candle.
Allen and Dalton Kincaid on my end, his Dolphin stack on his end tomorrow. So, like, it's going to be an active matchup, like, immediately. You know? A blockbuster matchup on Thursday Night Football.
The Catholic church, they will be ringing the bells.
So, yeah. It's going to be a good week.
I can't wait.
It's going to be
On
a
the
good
Money
week.
Sports Picks.
It's on the Money Sports Picks times.
Oh, is that time? It's that time?
I think it is. I mean, we pretty much covered everything to the best of our ability.
We gave you the floor for.
The summary is we hope
Yeah,
to see
thank you.
better than.
Yeah, I needed to let that out.
And we'll let you get it off your chest.
Yeah.
You know, it was-
I wanted to do it publicly.
It was
that was
good.
my big thing. I didn't want to keep going back and forth in chats and
we
saying
will.
this.
We're
and
still going to
that.
talk about it. In the
You know what? But now
It's
that
still-
it's Wednesday, and
now
I'm just
you
gonna
feel-
enjoy
yeah,
the rest of my
new
week.
New week.
It's a new week.
New week.
Enjoy the rest of my
You
week.
know?
And come Monday, there'll be more conversations to be had in chat, stuff like that. But that'll come Monday. Want me to go first or
saving your money. Go ahead.
yeah?
Your 2-3 self.
Yeah, 2 and 3 last week on my on the Money Sports picks. So this week I will be going with none other than the New York Football
Let me
Giants.
get that
Oh.
band so I can-
Listen, man, they have to win this
Listen,
game.
man.
Okay, so there's a good chance that if you've seen the picks that I put out every week, there's a good chance you see me pick the Giants every week. So don't mind that. But this week I'm putting them on the Money Sports picks because I believe in them this week. I have Baltimore beating the Raiders. I have the Texans beating the Bears. I have the Chiefs beating the Bengals, and the Steelers beating whoever that they play.
Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah, bro. It's week 2. I got to get it out of my system. I got to do some spicy plays and just
Said,
get myself used to,
Chiefs
doing it.
over the Bengals.
Yeah, Chiefs over Bengals. Steelers over
I didn't pick a winner in Commanders Giants. I just got a lot of stock on the Washington side of that. So,
Understandable.
all right. So you got Giants, you got Ravens, you've got Texans, you've got Chiefs, and you've got Steelers. I'm starting off with the big matchup on the AFC side. Joe Burrow is 5-1 against Patrick Mahomes all time so far. However, this week, week 2, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs over Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals for my first pick. Number 2, I'm going to a big 4 p.m. matchup on the NFC side, and I'm going to take the LA Rams over the Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, a game that we talked about earlier for a couple of minutes because of what we saw last week.
No, I don't put the
two
Giants
teams.
on the money sports picks every week throughout. That's what you're
Yeah,
wondering.
it really doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I don't put them on the sports picks.
Jaguars. I'm taking the Jaguars over the Cleveland Browns this week. At number 4, I'm taking the Tennessee Titans over the New York Football Jets. It's funny, you went Homer, I went Homer. And then at number 5, I guess you can call it, besides my last pick, the other spicy pick that I have to round it out. I've got the Tampa Bay Bucks beating the Detroit Lions this week.
That's spicy.
I got Tampa going.
Taking the Lions in that game.
I got Tampa going 2-0. I'm taking the Tampa money line on this one. And I think that we find the Lions in another close matchup.
Did you say Titans over Jets?
Titans over Jets.
That's spicy.
Taking the Titans over the Jets. In a defensive struggle, field position, whoever blinks is the team that loses. That's pretty much what's going to come down to.
You can see that.
Got two of the spicy emojis right there.
Yeah, I ended it spicy. The other one's not so much. Chiefs, Rams, Jaguars, and Browns are kind of equals, I guess. So it's a pick 'em there. And then I'm pretty sure, we're going to be the dogs. I think the Jets are like -3.5, if I'm not mistaken right now. And then I'm taking the other dog in Tampa Bay. So mine are the Chiefs,
What are you saying that I said, Turo?
Rams, Jaguars, Titans.
I said if you follow my weekly picks, that's what I said. My weekly picks, not my on the money sports picks. I put the Jets to win every week in my weekly picks.
I went 3-2 last week, thanks to
I'm also 3-2.
KC, Cowboys, and the 49ers. No thanks to the Giants, who I picked to beat the Vikings, and no thanks to the Colts, who I picked to beat the Texans.
I picked the Colts too.
This week, I got the Dolphins beating the Buffalo Bills tomorrow night.
Nice.
Even if they're shorthanded.
Nice.
The humidity of Miami will play a factor in this. I got Detroit beating the Bucks. I got the Colts beating Packers. I got the Commanders beating the Giants.
The Commanders!
And I got the Chiefs also beating the Bengals.
Oh, so this is a big week for me and Oscar as far as this picks goes.
So we all three of us picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, we did. No leverage can be made up there.
No ground to be gained. I stayed away from the Bills-Dolphins. I was going to put the Bills in here, but I just a different approach. I went to get a little spicy towards the end. You guys didn't pick the Rams or the Cardinals. You guys didn't pick Jags, Browns. You picked anybody pick the Lions? Like actually pick them? You picked the Lions? Okay, so what's yours again?
Mine's Dolphins, Detroit, the Colts, the Commanders, the Chiefs.
Okay. Now, as you know, On the Money Picks is one of the staples of this program, this podcast. I was last year's champion in the On the Money Picks. There are those seldom years and those seldom weeks where somebody goes 5-0. Maybe it could happen this week. We don't know. All I know, like I said, start up that Cowboys defense, fire them up, and don't be surprised if the Cowboys defense is outscoring some of your flex players and potentially starting wide receiver twos the way it's been looking. This past week showed us, the deeper we get into this, a lot of these teams are not taking the preseason seriously, and that's why we're seeing such horrible offense out there in the first couple weeks of the season. It might be horrible again this week. You just hope that you're on the winning side of that horrible. Like how last week won some, you lost some. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Just for the clock to strike 0 and you to get the hell out of there if it ends up being a repeat last week. However, we've got a couple of games in here that I think are going to be some bangers. We're going to have some better offensive output. Rams, Cardinals, one of those games. Bengals and Chiefs is another one. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be a good one.
I'm excited. It's football, man. Yeah. Football's the best time of the year.
And I'm off tomorrow, so I'm just going to be getting some stuff done around the house, cleaning up a bit, getting the yard done, making some food, and then kicking back and relaxing. Having baseball on all day, and then relaxing, getting ready for the Thursday night Amazon Prime football game.
Dun, 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 dun. You make me want to pick New England.
Right?
I stare at the game. It's like
the Seattle Seahawks are locking anything. Since when did it become a lock?
Not a lock.
I mean, for a little bit, the Denver Broncos were giving them a run for their
Rams Arizona is a good game too.
Yeah, Sandlot Baseball Association is down to the wire right now in the Final Four.
I don't want to talk about Sandlot Baseball.
It's getting crazy.
Oh, you lost?
And the Yankees
Yeah,
are
they did.
right now
How many
tied
runs?
with the Royals,
What was the score?
6-6. Higher seed
Lost in
one.
tie.
Yeah, higher seed one.
Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the
Oh
finals.
shit, that's
though.
right, huh?
And
Yeah,
I
mean, it
am
wasn't the
going.
championship.
I am going to be changing that shit for next year. I might go with the win percentage, like against each other maybe, or like I got to figure something out because even if I add another category, there's still potential for there to be ties.
What?
So I'm gonna work on that. That was an aggressive circling of the Atlanta Falcons.
Ladies and
I like
gentlemen,
it.
we have covered every single base there is to cover in the sports world here
We have.
in the week that has become the second week of overreactions, not just from your games from week one, but your overreactions of the players you picked in fantasy who do not perform. People who have put Christian McCaffrey on trade block as soon as things have gone down.
Hmm.
I'm ready
Teams
to do it.
and fans asking
People are bailing,
for
dog.
the benchings of other players. But all that is said and done. Week 2's coming up. It starts tomorrow night in Miami with Buffalo and the Dolphins. Then we get into Sunday. We got a lot of action going on. You got the Phillies who probably got their magic number down to 9. The
Orioles
Mets have
lost.
finally leapfrogged the
Orioles
Braves.
lost.
Nice.
Our half game lead is safe
There it
right
is.
now. We're tied with the Royals right now, bottom of the 11th, 3-3.
Everything is heating up in the baseball world.
It is.
The next couple weeks are going to be what that paints the whole picture of how this tournament's going to be.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody has a relaxing weekend. I hope you can try to enjoy these games, and I hope you don't second guess yourself when you make your lineups.
Shout out to Terrell,
And I hope every single
Alex,
person. I'm sorry, Terrell.
Jason,
Magic number's 8.
Chris.
I hope every single person who puts bets down this weekend wins. Beat Vegas.
See the books, guys.
Anything else
Beat
you
the
two want to
books.
say? Do we say adios?
Nope. Thank you for tuning in. Today was a great episode. Next
Will,
week
you
will
got to
be
throw the
better.
ball out of bounds next time, buddy. Can't let that happen again. Can't be falling to your knees and look at. Can't do that. Can't look like
I
that.
spoke on my piece.
You gotta relax. You know, that's it. That's all I can really say about that. Looking forward to the matchup against the New York Football Jets. Looking forward to Sunday. Looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to having a few beers, sweating out a few bets and fantasy matchups, and hopefully finding some more answers to the never-ending questions.
And just like that, another episode's in the book. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for everybody who commented. I hope you guys have